Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
We talk about all the biggest games every Monday at 10:30 with Fox Sports analyst Joel Klatt. Presented by MyBookie.ag, promo code NEXTROUND. If it is meaningful at all in college football, we cover it Mondays with Joel Klatt, presented by MyBookie.ag on the Next Round.
Take the Next Round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Here we go down live on a Thursday. It is Thursday, right?
It is Thursday.
Football's back in America. You know what that means.
What's that mean?
Cowboys and Giants tonight?
Cowboys and Giants tonight.
Interesting game.
It is 1-2 and 1-2. The Giants maybe not as bad as we thought with that opening loss at home to Minnesota. Minnesota looks like maybe the best team in the NFC.
Yeah. Army and Temple tonight. Army sneaky unbeaten. Navy coming to Birmingham this week. Navy's unbeaten. Is there a chance we'll be at the floor Bama in December with unbeaten Army, unbeaten Navy?
I don't think there's that chance, but they're going to be better than normal.
Yeah, you would really have
implications.
The only thing that sells me on this game is the fact that we might have the remnants of a hurricane and like really bad weather in Philadelphia.
Tonight? It can't be up there by tonight.
Oh, I've heard that there's going to be some bad weather in that area.
Yeah. Well, maybe the hurricane may be pushing it up.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, it could be pushing.
But outside of that, I am fully dialed into Dallas and the Giants.
As we told you on this show yesterday, Army, Navy, and Air Force all favored on the same weekend. I don't know if it's ever happened. Maybe
once.
Were they betting on games pre-World War II?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so maybe so.
Yeah, they were betting on duels back in the when they were wearing wigs.
I guess what I meant was, when did they actually start setting lines on stuff?
Do you think you felt bad about your guy gets shot and he's killed? And he's like, son of a bitch. I had $100 on that guy.
I was catching 120 on this guy.
I had Hamilton.
I'm the guy who killed him. Burr. Is that the guy that killed him?
Sure.
I've seen the musical
you've
3
seen
times.
The musical.
Yeah, I can sing the songs.
It gets a little, boy, this is going to really dumb me down. But because there's so much going on, it's like sensory overload. So you're following the story, but there's a lot of things. A lot of things happening.
I know 2 things from it. 1, I want to be in the room where it's happening, and 2, I don't want to give up my shot. Right? Is that
when you go to our special on-set guest today, I bet they've been to what we're talking about in Hamilton.
Can I admit I forgot we had an on-set guest?
Well, I mean...
I got you.
Okay. Yeah. You're talking about EG.
Yeah, so EG's not a guest. EG's family.
Well, she's a guest in this setting.
Yes, how are you,
Is that
EG?
fair?
I'm good. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to guess you've seen Hamilton.
No.
Oh, really?
You've never seen Hamilton?
No, I like history, but I don't like really musicals.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good musical.
I couldn't get into it.
Here's why I liked it, is because my daughter and her friends would listen to the soundtrack before I ever saw the musical. The soundtrack all the way to the beach, all the way back to the beach in my truck.
Yeah, no.
For about
Not
3
for me.
trips in the summer to 30A that summer.
That's when our kids have the electronics and the earpods and all that. I'm controlling my music.
It was like a Zach Bryan concert. They knew every word, everything.
Jimmy Doormat.
They were screaming all the way down, And Maggie,
We need to stop to pee again.
Maggie had my son and the other car and a bunch of stuff, and I had all the girls in my truck. And I was like, why are the girls riding with me? And she goes, I am not listening to Hamilton one more time. I get it every morning to school and back. You get Hamilton this weekend. So before I even saw it, I knew the soundtrack. So that made it better.
Did you have to stop a lot? Because I'll never forget one trip, and it was with the old Ram truck that I was in. One of those Ram trucks. I had like 20 different ones.
Yeah.
Such a good deal every 4,500 miles.
Yeah.
But I made it a point that I said, you guys are getting something to eat before we leave Birmingham. You're going to the bathroom. We are not stopping all the way to the beach.
We did one stop.
And so we did that trip all the way down, all the way back without filling up. One tank of gas, which I thought was pretty impressive.
Easy with the tank of gas was easy. It was the one stop. I told him, I said, we're a one stop trip here. This is what we do. And when we stopped, none of them had to go to the bathroom. It was the old guys that needed to go to the bathroom. It was when we were getting off of the interstate to make the turn. And none of them, we're going to stay in the truck, Dad. And I was like, no.
Stretch the legs.
Yeah, y'all got to get out and try to go to the bathroom because this is our stop. Right?
Just try.
We're not gonna
I'm
stop
team
again.
no stop. I like to power through. Let's just get there.
Yeah.
Let's get there. Me too. We're going to get there in college football coming up this weekend, man. We've got some great stuff. We'll be over at the Rabbit Hole tomorrow in Tuscaloosa, 12 to 3. Aaron Suttles will swing by.
You know what I figured out about this place?
What?
After talking to a couple of guys at Odie's last night, because I couldn't figure out where it was.
You see a house. Or it is a house.
It was my old bookmaker's house.
Are you kidding me?
I cannot lie. If
Okay,
it is,
so wait. So
if it's the right house where you walk up back and there's this long staircase that goes up to the back, because we'd go back up there and knock, you'd walk in, you would either pay, you'd get paid, you'd walk out.
That does not sound sketchy at all.
Yeah, so if it is the old bookmaker's house, we'll get
Well, his
Lance.
initials GC, and he's still doing it.
So you can confirm with him. Do you have his number?
I could, yeah.
He doesn't live in that house anymore, though.
Well, no, it's a
I
bar
wouldn't
now.
think so.
Yeah. So if this is the old bookmaker's house, Taylor will do a video tour of Lance of where things used to be.
Where I used to just drop money.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you would go up the...
Well, I was
There were
booking.
no cigarettes and chalkboards on the inside.
In the old Brian De Palma Classic, there's our little flyer for the backyard tour.
Yeah.
How
But
fun is
the
this
Brian
gonna
De
be?
Palma 1982-83 Classic Scarface, don't get high on your own supply. If you're dealing drugs, you don't need to be doing drugs. I was booking, but I was also betting. So basically, I would take all my winnings and just unload them to my bookmaker.
You would enjoy holding people's bets. That's what you always tell me. Dunaway, you don't even need a bookmaker. I'll hold your bets.
Yes.
That's been the advice. I'll hold your bets.
So
can you put that up one more time, Tyler? The backyard tour with our friends at Adams Beverage. Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Stella will be over in Tuscaloosa back at the Rabbit Hole. And it continues. We're there 12 to 3. The show will not be on tomorrow 9 to 12. It'll be 12 to 3. And then live music after us featuring Plato Jones and the Blind River Current. So good music after us as well. So the party continues with Adams all night long.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. I thought about staying in Tuscaloosa tomorrow night and then driving back Saturday. I know that's backwards from what everybody's doing. I really have no desire to be down there on Saturday. But I think I'm going to hang out for a little bit tomorrow night. We've got some friends coming in town, friends of the show.
Interesting.
And, might hang out for a little bit.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it. I've got young Jack out of school tomorrow.
Is he coming over with us?
Yeah, like he's going to Livingston to see relatives.
Yeah.
And so I told Mom, I was like, I just don't think Friday's that important for him to go. I think it's more important that he goes to the Rabbit Hole.
I mean, Fridays very little gets done.
It's very educational,
Yeah.
AG. It's a field trip is what we'll call it.
No, you learn more on those types of field trips than what he'll learn in.
Well, he's a
on
junior,
That's
so
right,
he's
yes.
technically visiting a campus.
That is
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, it's campus visit.
I
I
love
mean,
that.
we all agree, though. I mean, start with you in the back, Tyler. Your education, part of it is traveling, right? Experiencing life. It's not in a classroom. It's getting out. You would agree with that, Tyler, right? I don't
you
have
gotta
his-
turn
I don't-
Tyler
I don't
on.
have
Oh,
Tyler's
sorry,
mic.
that's my fault.
That's okay.
Yeah,
there you
no,
go. Say it
it's-
again, Tyler.
It's my fault.
Yes, you need world experience, lived experience.
Yes.
School isn't important.
Yeah. Well, not
Hold
an
on.
not an
Easy
endorsement.
now.
Not an
I
endorsement.
mean, I think it is, but I think world experience is just as important.
yeah, you learn stuff. You learn.
Let me
stuff
tell you
on the
the first, and I was thinking about this the other day for some reason. I can't remember what it was. In college, one of the worst things that happened to me early is my second semester at Jacksonville State. I went to a world history class. Dr. Suzanne Marshall was the professor.
Well, the worst thing that happened is your coach started recruiting South America, right?
Oh, that is true, yes. And I started playing very poorly in the second semester. But I went to the world history class, and She says, you're in college. That means you're an adult. If you act like an adult, I'll treat you like an adult. In light of that, there is no attendance policy in this class.
Yikes.
Peace out.
The next time I saw her was the midterm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Me too. I did that once.
Next time I saw her was
Did
the
you
midterm.
snake a C somehow?
Yeah, but here's what happened. And there's another side story that's funny on this. But so the first day I go into class is packed, body to body, right? She walks in. She's like, I apologize for this. We're going to get this fixed. Don't worry about it. She goes, but so I'm thinking, when you went in a packed class, you're like, I picked the right professor, right? Everybody knows take this professor. So that's the first thing I thought. Yeah. Then she comes in. She's like, I'm sorry it's packed. We're going to fix this. But since it's standing room only today, I'm just going to cover the syllabus real quick and we'll let you go. And I'm like, boom, 2 for 2. We're getting out early. So she covers the syllabus, tells us there's no attendance policy. There was a test between the first day of class and the midterm, and you could drop your lowest score. So I said, well, I'm going to do midterm, project, final, and see what happens. So I'll drop that test.
Roll the dice.
I don't have to come back to the midterm. So I show back up for the day that's on my syllabus for the midterm.
Oh, no.
Class is empty. Not a soul in there.
Oh, no.
I'm like, oh, crap, I've got the wrong day and time. So I look, no, I got the right day and time. So I go to her office, locked up, light off.
Oh, no.
So I go to the history office. I was like, hey, I am so sorry, but I showed up for my midterm today, and the class is completely empty. She goes, what class is it? And I slide the syllabus, and she goes, that class was overfilled. We changed classrooms.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that is my bad. When did you do that? She goes, the second day of class.
Yeah.
Do you still have dreams about going to that class and missing?
I think I have had that dream. And I was like, that is my bad. And she goes, so you're telling me you haven't been since the first day and you're about to go take the midterm? I was like,
you confirmed that I'm an adult.
that is what I'm telling you. Yeah,
Made these adult decisions.
Hey, I made a C. I pulled the C. The project was huge.
Is this? And I've been one of those that this guy had a bad upbringing. You can only blame so much on the environment that you grew up in. But like my goals going into a semester were, hey, I just need to get C's.
All C's.
Oh,
man.
yeah. Heck yeah.
Isn't that kind of sad, though?
It is.
In retrospect, it is, but that was my goal too. I hate to even bring this up. I got to pass a class one time because.
Where is this going?
I'm just saying. I know you've heard my stories.
Just hey, when he says I shouldn't say this, just let him roll.
Back off. That's rule one.
If you were at the school I went to, I won't name the school I went to, but if you've been here long enough. There was a professor who got incarcerated halfway through a semester.
Holy crap. DUI?
For what?
It was something north of a DUI.
Okay.
But
DUI was mild compared to this?
But it happened in Birmingham. But that person, I won't say gender, got incarcerated.
Oh, he just did.
Oh, boy, I tell you, I was going dude. I was 100%. I was
I can't believe it was a girl.
Yeah.
And so our choice was, you can retake, we're about halfway through now. You could retake the class next semester, and there obviously would give you your money back, or you could take your current grade. Well, my current grade was a C, and I was like, done. Take it.
Oh,
I'll take that C,
happened to
and
me
I'm
too.
out.
You could have bailed her out. That would have been brownie points right there.
Yeah, Dr. Succo, that was my first Spanish. My second Spanish was Dr. Succo. Her son, Mike, now runs Coca-Cola, our friends at Coca-Cola. And she fell and hit her head and missed the end of the semester.
Oh, no.
And they came in. Now, she was fine, but she had to miss the end of the semester. And they came in and they're like, you got 2 choices. You can take your grade right now and be done. No, not yes. I was like, can I see my grade real quick? Let me know what I'm agreeing
Well, that
to.
was your problem. Dr. Succo, is she Asian?
No, she's Cuban.
Oh.
She's a Cuban immigrant.
I was about to say, if you got an Asian teaching you Spanish, that might be a reason you never got done with it.
I like the way you Mr. C, went instantly to blaming it on the professor.
That's right. No, Cuban immigrant. Her father, it's an incredible story. Her father was in the government in Cuba, knew Fidel Castro. And when he started taking power, it was like, it's bad news right here.
Yeah.
I'm getting my family and we're going.
Right.
They were pumping up that inner
Yeah,
tube.
hey, buddy, they got out in the dead of the night.
When he's in person, he's like, hey, you're going to make a great dictator.
That's right.
He'd go home, he's like,
Pack it up, we're out of here.
he's going to make a great
Roll them up. We're
All
good.
right, a lot to get to here. Let's tell you about some of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at johnsonrvcenter.com. Listen, you get in Johnson RV Center, get out of the classroom, get into that Johnson RV, and tour America. That's where the real learning is.
I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and you go see America in the fall. I mean, you look this weekend, we're finally getting some of those fall temperatures, so get great discounts and low payments like travel trailers as low as $145 a month. Fifth Wheels, savings over $45,000. RV warranty forever. Make sure you got that lifetime warranty on anything new or qualifying pre-owned at Johnston RV Center. See more, I-65, 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, johnstonrvcenter.com.
And our friends at NASCAR, we go racing. You want a good camping, free camping, and then there are places as well for your Johnston RV on the infield, right there on the boardwalk. They call it the boardwalk?
The Boulevard.
Right on the boulevard there at Talladega. You can jump on that right now and get tickets to the big race coming up October 4th through the 6th, that whole weekend. We all experienced that whole weekend this past spring, and Taylor and EG were out there for the first time, and they saw how much fun Talladega is. Buck and Dega on Friday night, or rodeo this time around. Jake Owen in concert on Saturday, and the big race on Sunday. Playoff races in the trucks on Friday, the Xfinity on Saturday, and the Cup races on Sunday. Get your tickets right now. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, 877-GO-TO-DEGA. We talked about football happening tonight. Buster Olney is with us at 10:30 today talking baseball. Later on, Dan Orlovsky with us at 11. Roman Harper at 11:45 to end the show, so we may slide a little overtime depending on how it goes with Roman today. Those are our guests later on, but we got it. I mean, I know we talked a little college experience here with professors. We got to talk a little baseball here in the first segment because this is insanity. Brown got his wish. He's going to get a doubleheader on Monday. They canceled the Braves and Mets game last night, postponed it, and they postponed it already for today. They're going to play a back-to-back doubleheader starting at 12:10 Central, 1:10 Eastern on Monday. It could be for a playoff spot. We'll see how that plays out. They also, if you just focused on that as a Braves fan, they canceled game 163. It will not happen. So if there is a tie, they will not play a tiebreaker game. They will go to a mathematical tiebreaker equation. Can you imagine playing 162 games, ending in a tie in some form, and there's some tiebreaker scenario that decides who goes to the playoff and who goes home? And, oh, by the way, after that doubleheader, you're in a playoff game the next day.
There is nothing worse than a tie, by the way. Like a regular season NFL tie makes absolutely no sense. But if this comes down to a mathematical equation.
Insanity.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And by the way, I didn't know that part of it. I don't like that.
Yeah. By the way, Braves and Mets will play, weather permitting, the one that makes the playoffs out of it. If one of them doesn't and one makes it, will play 4 games in 3 days, including a playoff game on Tuesday.
Yeah, deck is still stacked against the Braves. When you look at the probability to make the playoffs right now, just in the National League, they are at 54%. Both the Diamondbacks and the Mets at 73%.
Yeah. So I'm going to so I talked to Ush on the way in. He and EG y'all are doing a pennant race at 12:15, right?
Yes, we are.
Live pennant race. And he was trying to go to the game yesterday.
Yeah.
He had tickets, and he got to Oxford.
I was about to say, turn it around.
Well, he did. He got to Oxford and turned it around. He was complaining. He's like, I know it's not ideal, but Major League Baseball could have moved that up, EG, to 11 and gotten the first game in.
Yeah.
Yes, and that has happened continuously this season and previous seasons where the weather in Atlanta will be fine. It'll be beautiful. And yet they're not playing. They're waiting until the weather comes in and they call it.
Even worse, though, both teams had a day off on Monday. They could have played a game Monday, played an early game They played Tuesday, could have played an early game Wednesday, and got the whole series in.
Yeah. So I don't know why Major League Baseball, it's almost like they wanted that doubleheader on Monday for all the marbles. I mean, it's what it feels like.
Yeah, but other things have got to play out for that thing, too.
Well, I know, but if you play one of those games yesterday, you don't get that doubleheader. Now, I would think a single game is probably better for all the marbles, like if you just have one game knowing that.
I agree, too. And at the park, fan-wise and stuff on a Monday, like, you want people there.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I would imagine Braves fans will treat it like a playoff game.
For sure.
On Monday, if there's still a chance for the playoffs, you'll show up like you always do for that doubleheader at 12:10. Here's the deal, though. It looks on paper like the Mets have a tougher weekend, but Milwaukee's already in the playoffs.
Right.
Kansas City's fighting their butts off to make the playoffs. The Braves host Kansas City. The Mets are off to Milwaukee. So I think the Braves have a tougher road.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And I go back to, I just hate that it's a doubleheader on Monday because also the Braves had so much momentum. And that, you guys know, baseball is getting momentum, and the Braves have struggled with that all season.
Yeah, you would have just beaten the Mets, and you would have had Chris Sale on the hill last night, your ace. That's just, it seems like everything seems to be stacked against the Braves this year. I do notice the T-shirt I wore today by accident. No, for no reason. Just
it's in Mets colors too.
It is.
It is in Mets colors.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm landmining the Mets.
I don't think it works that way.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way either. So, LT, that is crazy. Also, what is crazy is today is the final home game for the Oakland Athletics. They'll play it at 2:30 this afternoon. In true ownership fashion, whoever this owner is with Oakland, sold out today. But knowing this was going to be the last game in Oakland back in midseason, the ticket prices for this game higher than any ticket price all season long. Can you imagine what a piece of crap that guy is?
Such a kick in the crotch.
And if it wasn't football season, I would get on one of my really good friends that played in that organization for a long time, for Billy Bean. And he's got some great stories about just how bad the facilities were and just day in, day out.
They had to deal with that. And this owner put out a letter to the fans saying, I wish I could talk to each of you. We tried 5 different locations and never could get it going.
Just own it.
Yeah.
Like, own it, you know?
And by the way, you have enough money. If they won't give you city money, just build it out of your own money and start hosting concerts and all that there and get your money back. I don't know. They're moving out of Oakland. 2:30, Major League Baseball Network, if you want to watch it this afternoon.
I really don't care.
Yeah.
It's a crappy stadium. It needed to be moved out a long time
There's
ago.
never one person in the outfield, ever.
No. And
Sold out today, though. Sold out today. And by the way, they know that this is the last game. And those fans, I know we always talk about Dodger fans. I can only imagine Oakland fans are pretty rough. I don't know what'll happen in the stands.
You remember the story from the documentary when the Browns, they were tearing seats out of the stadium for that last game. You remember that?
Yeah.
That's what I'm expecting today.
The dog pound. They were tearing seats out when they knew Cleveland was not coming back to the municipal stadium.
I mean, is that not what you're expecting today?
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they're going to tear seats out, but possibly. I mean, that's a pissed fan base.
Yeah, take some seats with me back to the house.
So who is the most famous bat boy in Oakland A's history?
First most famous bat boy in Oakland.
I feel like I should know this.
I'm going to say it was, what you talking about, Willis Gary Coleman.
Wow. They packed him up with the bats, just put him in the bag.
What you talking about, Willis?
Why would you say Gary Coleman was an Oakland A's bat?
I mean, the A's best days were in the 70s.
He could pick a horse back in the 70s or 80s. I don't know if you guys ever saw that really terrible movie where he had he was the clairvoyant, I guess,
right.
to see the horse that was going to win. It was actually MC Hammer.
Hammer. So Smuff and Scott both quickly in the MyBookie.ag chat room said MC Hammer. So this is a well-known thing.
Yep.
Okay.
What do you?
Keith said, "Is it Diddy?"
It is not Diddy.
Diddy was a bat boy much later on, wasn't he?
No, he worked for the bullpen.
Smaller bats.
Did MC Hammer go get the bats like this? Side to side. Really quickly, over under 3.5 hours of sleep for me last night, just by how the show started.
Oh, under, which is my favorite Dunaway.
Under, 100%.
Yeah, it's no sleep Dunaway. Why are you not sleeping?
I don't know, man. Just not sleeping.
You played golf yesterday, didn't you?
I did play golf yesterday.
You didn't?
No,
the weather was fantastic for golf.
No, I had my server, I think Anthony was his name.
Thought I was coming.
No, he just said, look, he's like, you've got to tell Dunaway that his group has got Philip at Dyrens.
Yeah.
He's like, you got to tell him his group's got to play quicker.
Yeah.
He was like, we were behind him at Bentbrook. Apparently, he played Bentbrook a lot.
Once a week.
But he was like, we got to get Dunaway. They got to play faster.
What the crap? You played pretty fast. Were you hitting it all over the lot?
Oh, I do play pretty fast.
Oh, it's the rest of the group playing.
It's not your fault, right?
I don't play by myself.
No, Dunaway does not.
But you do play by yourself sometimes, don't you?
Oh, no. I used to
have.
Not this year.
Oh, not this year. Dunaway does not spend a lot of time thinking about the shot.
I don't.
Like if
my score could be different.
If Dunaway's on your team, it is very frustrating because he'll just get up and hit a shot without thinking about it. I'm like, my God, Jim, that was a pretty important putt right there.
I kind of like that, though.
Yeah.
Let's get this thing going.
But I figure, my handicap's at 13.3. I don't stand over a putt. I don't read putts. I don't walk around. I'm like, this feels like it's going to break about this much left. And I hit the putt.
Yep.
And putting's my problem right now.
Phillips said play faster.
Yeah, play faster. Putt less, play
I think
faster. I
know who he is. And I think he was a twosome. I can't outplay a twosome.
I don't know.
And I've got one guy I play with, Benny Mack.
But he said your group looked old.
Well, we are. But Benny Mack.
So I'm going to say maybe you were playing with a different group that day.
Here's Benny Mack's philosophy.
You also said your group seemed
I'm always willing to let people play through, right?
Right.
Benny Mack, I'm like, hey, there's a twosome behind us on this next screen. You want to let these guys play through? And he's like, no, they should have 2 more friends. I'm not going to let them
Is this the same dude that wanted to fire Gus Malzahn?
No, it's a different guy. Yeah. His philosophy is, I'm like, hey, man, there's a single behind us. We should let him play through.
Yeah, I don't get
no, he needs to get 3 more friends.
I don't have the anxiety that you have, like that time that Nick Saban was – we had Riley Green had just come up to do an interview in the Coca-Cola room at Regions. And
Brown had left for a reason.
For whatever, Riley Green, we asked him like 2 questions because Dunaway was like sweating. Oh, my gosh, Nick Saban is waiting on Riley Green.
Yeah. No, it was DeBoer. It was DeBoer waiting on Riley.
Was it DeBoer?
It this past season?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was DeBoer. DeBoer had just walked in,
But I don't have that kind of anxiety. I mean, I feel it a little bit, but if somebody's playing behind me and it's like obvious, I would let them play through.
Yeah. Oh, my golfing buddies would. In fact, out at Benton Brook this past week, they had told us.
I would be hitting into y'all nonstop.
They had told us that, hey, you guys are the last group 10 off today. So, and they all looked at me and they said, Dunaway, no anxiety today. Nobody behind us. And sure enough, what happens? The 2 pros are out there playing behind us for a second. And I was out on hole 2. I was already like, hey, those are the pros behind us from the pro shop. We need to let them go through. And Benny Mack said they need 2 more pros.
They need 2 more pros with them.
All right, one more college football note before we jump into everything else going into the world. We'll talk about the NIL at UNLV, another player leaving, another player opting out. But first, our friends at Inverness Country Club want to remind you that if you get stressed out,
never slow there.
You can go to Inverness and get all sorts of great amenities. But on the golf course there's nothing more relaxing than club golf, man. Never crowded out at Inverness Country Club.
Hey, find your sense of community at Inverness Country Club. They got memberships that fit everyone from the social to the golf. Maybe relocated or retired. Inverness is a great place to network. Childcare also a big plus. You and your wife want to go play a round of golf. You want to play a match of tennis. Guess what? You can drop the kid and go have yourself a day on the court or course. Whatever your interests are, you can find it at Inverness. They even have a vineyard club. Best days happen at Inverness. And did you know that you don't even have to be a member in order to hold an event at Inverness? Inverness can hold anywhere from golf tournaments to corporate meetings to wedding receptions, anything in between. We're going to be out there doing a live show in 2 weeks. We'll give you more details on that. To take a tour of this unbelievable club, call Aaron 205-991-8608 or online iccalabama.com.
And our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. It's the opportunity for you to start losing some weight in 2025. Go ahead and get that plan together. Every plan's different at Way to Wellness. Leslie and her board-certified team will take care of you. And right now, if you got a friend, or maybe it's you, that are looking for a new career, a new job, and if you're a dietitian or just think you can help out the folks at Way to Wellness, go to their website, aplanforme.com, and check out the career opportunities you have right there. Just wonderful folks and a great team of board-certified professionals that will help you with your weight loss, control your cholesterol, blood pressure, and everything else. And they've got every form of weight loss plan for you there that are at your availability. Whatever you can think of, they've got it at Way to Wellness. It's aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. No contracts. It's your Way to Wellness, folks, your journey to healthy living. All right, so another UNLV player leaves yesterday, but he says it has nothing to do with NIL. It's about on-the-field opportunities. Running back Michael Allen, so they've lost their quarterback and a running back in a deep running back room. Bear Alexander of USC has opted out. Again, this is not NIL related. He's opting out to preserve another year of eligibility. He's a big former 5-star recruit. At one point was going to be a Georgia Bulldog. Then he's at USC. He wants to play somewhere else now. He's opting out of a playoff contender.
Well, and real quick, that was a big get in the portal last year coming from Georgia to USC for Alex Grinch. Now, obviously, Alex Grinch has moved on. DeAnton Lynn has more depth at the position. He's not getting the reps he wants to get.
Right.
He was
same way with Michael Allen, I think.
Yeah, Bear Alexander, is good. He's kind of a space eater. But I think he was overhyped a little bit.
Yep. Yeah.
And I just can't believe, his dad or his guardian, whoever it is, has come out and said, he's still going to stay with the team in practice. No,
sir.
Yeah.
No, sir.
No, you're not part of the team
anymore.
I
mean, that was the whole thing. When I read that release, I was like, boy, that's some optimistic thinking. I'm going to opt out, but I still want to be part of this team.
We got to do something about this.
We
have got to do something about this.
Everybody just needs to chill. That's what I wanted to bring up, LT. We've lived through this already. Remember, was it De'Aaron King and Dana Holgerson?
Yeah, De'Aaron King shut it down.
Yeah, De'Aaron King.
And he went to Miami eventually.
I think it was a couple other folks that shut it down. And remember Holgerson, I'm endorsing this. I told him it was okay. They'll be back. We'll build for next year. And we all sat there and we were like, Dude, they're not coming back to play.
Yeah, but
you
see
Derek King
last time. That was a complete internal mess at Houston. You've got a USC team that's already beaten the top 15. They have a one-possession, final second loss on the road to the defending national champions. They still have a lot in front of them. So, like with Derek King, that season was over. They were sitting at 1-3. Bear Alexander, they're 3-1.
I will go ahead and tell you.
It's no longer about the team, by the way.
No point spread or anything. I will take UNLV to beat Fresno State.
Do you even know the point spread?
I don't.
No, but it's right around a pick. I'm pulling for UNLV.
Yeah, I think UNLV goes out and kicks their butt. They're in a better quarterback situation than they were in.
Well, you know what? I don't know if I am pulling for UNLV.
Why?
Well, I heard the agent yesterday for Sluka on with Hester and EJ on the way to trivia last night. And, I don't know what I believe about this because, if they were promised $100,000, and this is apparently the offensive coordinator that promised it, and then Barrio said it didn't come from me, so they said, well, look, why don't you give us $10,000 a month for 4 months, $40,000? Like, why would you drop that quickly? And then they dropped to $5,000 a month. Hey, $20,000.
Yeah.
And that's when he said, Barry Odom said, $3,000, take it or leave it, that's when they walked.
That's what they pay every player. It's $3,000. Not every player. That's their base NIL is $3,000. They are paying their top receiver
Ricky White,
pretty good money. Yeah,
oh, dude, that guy could get whatever he wants from anywhere.
Yeah.
But let me ask you guys this: if you're really representing him and you were told $100,000, why would you continue to drop your demands like that? So that's like I kind of have a hard time believing the Sluka camp now.
So in other words, you're saying if I told you, Lance, we're going to go in this, we're going to buy a house together, flip house, and well, no, that's a bad example. Yeah. So you're saying $100,000, and they're like, we don't have the 100. Okay, well, what about 75?
No, they went from 100 to 40.
Yeah,
and then quickly 40 to 20.
Yeah,
and that's when they came back and said, we'll give you 12, and that's when they walked.
Yeah. See,
but he said an assistant coach promised him that.
It was the offensive coordinator. Yeah, here's the one thing that everybody needs to know, and I've been burned on
writing.
this.
They have nothing.
You have to put everything in writing.
Well,
Number one, PSA.
Videotape.
It doesn't matter who you trust. It doesn't matter what circle you're in. You have got to put these things in writing, and this would be black and white. Hey, look, we've got a contract.
You want to? I mean, you want me to show you how tough this is? First of all, at mybookie.ag, UNLV is a 2-point favorite, so you're taking the favorite in that one.
UNLV's the favorite now. See, that's why I was hoping it wouldn't leak out because yesterday you told me it had dropped to where UNLV was getting a point.
Fresno was 1.5.
Yeah, and then it flipped back around. Everybody did what you're thinking.
You know why? Because word's coming out, they were thinking about making a quarterback change anyway.
And that's why this guy bailed?
Yep.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
They have a great receiving core. The other guy can't throw. This guy's the passing quarterback's about to take over. UNLV will be better off without this guy.
So
Sluka's a quitter.
If it's Cameron, why would you not go on and name your starting quarterback then? So Cameron Frill is a guy that was the starting quarterback 3 years ago. He is not good, and it's one of the two. But why would you not go on and say, "Hey, this other guy is going to be our guy"?
It's Hajj Malik Williams that's taking over, and apparently all the receivers are like, "This guy should have been starting anyway." Finally, this guy's going to be out there.
Let me tell you this, and I got this yesterday. This is directly from a booster of an SEC school. I'll not say the school on the show. Out of fairness to them, I'll not say the school on the show.
No, it's Ole Miss.
This is a booster of an SEC school.
Not Vandy.
Before the season started, the head coach of this school called, I don't know what group, but he got 10 to agree.
Mensa?
We're $1 million behind in NIL, not just in NIL, in money we've promised.
Oh, no.
Money we've promised.
Oh, no.
We're $1 million behind.
Oh, no.
Will you give $100,000 today?
Yes.
And he got 10 boosters that agreed. They all agreed, okay, I'll give you another $100,000.
Oh, no.
And he got a bunch more tickets and stuff out of it. But I'm like, $100,000. They were $1 million behind in what they had promised.
But for the SEC, $1 million. For UNLV, $100,000 is probably a lot of money.
That's the point. Yeah.
I'd sent Forrester this earlier. He had to step out for a second. He'll be back. But Brett McMurphy had tweeted out, none of this stuff happens in the SEC because the bag man always delivers. The bag man shows up. If you're asking for 70,000 more, 100,000 more, the bag man always shows up in the SEC. There may be some rough moments on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, But before Saturday, the bag man always shows up.
I hate the fact that we are going, and you brought up De'Aaron King, and I think it's a good example because it happened years ago, and it was before all of the NIL. But I do think we live in a world now where 4 games is going to be that number, and I'll stick with it. I've just got this feeling that Jackson Arnold is going to be out, and it just sucks. If you're not getting your way, you're not getting your playing time. If your team's losing a couple of games, you bail that early.
Yeah, you're right. This is a part on the calendar now, just like we have the transfer portal window. This is the opt-out window.
Yep.
That's going to happen every year because of the eligibility rules, and it's going to happen until we end up with contracts. I don't think the world's crashing in because of this. I think you next man up and you move on, or you pay the guy one way or the other. You make your choice, you make your call. We'll see what happens to UNLV. I can't believe we've talked so much UNLV this week.
It's insane, isn't it?
When we got Oklahoma and Auburn and the biggest one in the country, Georgia and Alabama, coming to town.
Still the biggest story in football. I get it, but, I mean, this is unprecedented.
When we come back, we'll talk more about that Georgia-Alabama game happening in Tuscaloosa. A couple of angles to get to on that, and all the way up to Buster with baseball 1 hour from now. This hour of the show being brought to you in part by our friends at Hemp Hill. You can get lanceslock.com, lanceslock.com, thanks to our friends at Hemp Hill every day. He's got plays on football, maybe a little baseball tonight, too.
Yeah, we will have plays up shortly at lanceslock.com. Jump on board and win with us. Always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
All right, EG, here we go. You ready? Ready to go to break? We're back in a moment on TNR.
NASCAR is back with the Yellowwood 500 at Talladega, Friday, October 4th through Sunday, October 6th. Get your tickets right now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or call 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Don't forget to enhance your race weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience presented by Cool Race. The weekend includes Buck and Dega, a rodeo and fireworks on Friday night, Jake Owen in concert on Saturday, and the Yellowwood 500 on Sunday. Get your tickets at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
From the creators of The Next Round comes 2 new sites, CoverCrimson.com and TheBarnAuburn.com. 2 team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. CoverCrimson.com or TheBarnAuburn.com. Sign up today. Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
You never know what we're up to here at The Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow The Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunsford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in. Happy football season. At the Next Round, we strive to make our loyal listeners feel like they're a part of the action all season long. My name is Grace McWhorter, and I do that by bringing you along for any given Saturday in Auburn or Tuscaloosa. From pregame warm-ups, touchdowns that make you feel a part of the play, and everything in between, our goal is to make you feel like you're inside Bryant Denny or Jordan Hare. Follow along on our social media at Next Round Live on Instagram, X, and Facebook. Also, check out thebarnauburn.com and covercrimson.com while you're at it. Here's to Fall Saturdays.
Back with you on the next round as we roll on. Buster only in an hour. We got a special group coming up from the Wharf. Casual Seafood.
Yeah, I know
today.
you're all giddy on your 3.5 hours of sleep, but we've got a mixologist coming in too to make some cocktails.
Yeah. Mixologist. So they'll make them on the air or just out in the lobby, and we'll taste
probably make
them.
it in the green room, bring them in. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Okay, so that's happening. The Wharf Casual Seafood from out in the Moody area, all over the listening area. They'll be here at 11 o'clock, so we'll have a mixologist making us cocktails.
Are you going to have a cocktail?
I absolutely will have a cocktail.
Okay.
And we'll have cocktails while we talk to Dan Orlovsky about the NFL, which cranks back up tonight. Dallas and the Giants. The Cowboys a 5.5 point favorite in that one. 45.5 is the total. A little, both teams are 1-2, but we didn't expect much from the Giants. We expected a ton from the Cowboys. A lot of pressure on the Cowboys.
Well, a lot
tonight.
of pressure on a team that is won 13 of 14. They've won 6 straight against the Giants. I mean, they've completely owned this. And, there's multiple problems. Dallas can't stop the run. They're giving up 186 yards per game on the ground. Micah Parsons, back-to-back games, no sacks after that defense was so dominant against Deshaun Watson in Cleveland week 1. On the other side, I didn't realize, coming into the season, I was like, I think Malik Neighbors is probably the best receiver, but his quarterback situation is awful.
Yeah, if there's only one reason you watch tonight, watch Malik Neighbors. That kid is amazing.
He's the first player in NFL history with 20-plus receptions and 3-plus receiving touchdowns in his first 3 games, and he's doing it with Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean, his play has been absolutely incredible. He's making circus catches. I mean, just everything you would want out of Malik Neighbors. And when you watch the way Jaden Daniels played Monday night and Malik Neighbors, years from now, people are going to look back and say, God, what did LSU do with those two guys?
I know. I mean, just the whole league seems like it's be LSU receivers.
And then when Harold Perkins gets in the league, they're going to be like, my Lord, I bet LSU was dominant.
If you're not a Cowboys fan, you probably hate the Cowboys. That's kind of the way it works.
That's right.
But be ready. If the Cowboys lose this game, I think it's already on the path of unraveling for the Cowboys, the way they've lost
they'll fire the coach.
last 2 weeks. I could see that. I could definitely see Mike McCarthy being bounced after a loss tonight in New York.
Yeah. Get to play at lancedlock.com. Don't forget, we're at the Rabbit Hole tomorrow. The show is 12 to 3 tomorrow. College football after LT tells us about our friends at Wonder Fan. You got a chance to earn points either inside Jordan Hare or Bryant Denny Stadium this weekend.
Yeah, really simple. Excited about this sponsoring partner, Wonder Fan, first of its kind stadium rewards app where sports fans earn real rewards simply by cheering for their favorite team. All you need to do is head to the App Store. Very important. First thing you do, download the app, WUNDER Fan. That's Wonder Fan. Check in once you're in the stadium and let your earnings grow. It's that easy. During each game you attend, you'll earn in the background once you press start, and once you have enough earnings, you can actually redeem for cash vouchers to your favorite retailers, Dick's, Champion, Lululemon, 47 brand, and more. There's even weekly ticket giveaways. You can use your points to enter new rewards added weekly. Again, just go to the App Store, search WonderFan, WUNDERFAN, and start being paid for your fan loyalty. WonderFan pays to be a fan.
In the mybookie.ag chat room, just to show you the Mike McCarthy, Patrick, as a Cowboys fan, fire his ass.
Yeah.
Nicholas, McCarthy hasn't been good since 2010.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, it's
what Maggie says about me.
I know. I would imagine in Dallas, it's that times 1,000, wouldn't you think? Or times 1,000,000 or times however many you want to multiply it by. That guy, if they fired him, I hate it. He seems like a fairly nice guy. I mean, from what you could tell on interviews and all that. Yeah. I don't think it's his fault. Do you think it's his fault? You think it's McCarthy's fault?
Well, I saw, and when Dan Orlovsky joins us later, I thought this was really interesting. CeeDee Lamb was the most targeted player in the NFL last year. He's 41st this year. And he was really breaking this down, and it gets kind of technical, but he was talking about how CD is lining up on the far hash. So now defenders, really, you can go one-on-one. You don't even have to put a safety over there. You can go one-on-one coverage. It is the furthest throw on the field for a quarterback. So you're taking away a lot of what CD Lamb can do, getting him alienated from the play, and this is consistently going on. So, defensive coordinators are already given a leg up before the ball's even snapped.
Let's spend some time talking about the biggest game in the country, which happens to be down the street from us, Georgia and Alabama this weekend. First off, a warning from the university, counterfeit tickets. They've already had some issues with that. When you get a big game like this, it is a big problem. So make sure if you're buying in the secondary market, you only use our friends at ATIX. ATIX, they make sure their tickets 100% secure there, so you don't have to worry about counterfeit with our friends at ATIX there. Heisman impact in this game. Have you guys seen how far Carson Beck has been slipping the betting polls?
I'm not going to say he should, but I'm going to say it is not surprising. He just hasn't really torn it up. And then you watch that Georgia game, Lance. They had 63 first half yards, or that Kentucky game, 63 first half yards?
Well, he had 160 passing yards. That was his fewest in his 17 career starts. I fully expect. Now, look, you're going to have somebody show up on the perimeter. You got to get some playmakers out there. But I think Mike Bo's going to take multiple shots with Carson Beck. I think it's going to be Carson Beck's game to win.
I did see Pro Football Focus. They do the college stuff, right? And they said cornerback or defensive back, I think it was, in college football that's given up the least yards this entire season was Damani Jackson.
Oh, really?
7 yards.
Wow.
That's very impressive.
That is impressive.
I knew he had played well. I don't guess I knew it was quite that well.
Yeah.
But no defensive back in college football has given up fewer yards than Damani Jackson.
You don't see him on TV if he's not giving up yards.
That is correct.
In that position.
Yep.
But they haven't played a quarterback.
That is also correct. Yeah.
This is going to be. This will be like you're in, rookie assignment ball, and then you go up and you face Skeens. Yeah. I mean, that's what this is going to be. It's going to be that big of a jump from what they've seen quarterback-wise.
To be fair, well, I was going to say to be fair, the same's true for Georgia. I mean, there's a significant difference between Klubnik and Milroe.
Exactly. Let's talk about
Klubnik's the best quarterback they've seen.
But Klubnik is playing great football now. Yeah. Maybe Georgia's defense is just that
Maybe
good.
They are.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Tyler, if you'll give me cut number 5 here. Kirby Smart was asked about just how much Jalen Milroe has, what kind of jump he's made since the last time they even played just in the SEC championship game. It is a major point of the game. Can you control Jalen Milroe and his legs? Here's Kirby Smart.
Kirby, I know the sample size might be small, just 3 games. What type of jump in Jalen's game have you seen since the last time you played him?
Yeah, it's considerable jump as a just natural pocket passer. You see him make more throws now that are like rhythm throws, on-time throws, RPO throws. You can tell he's become more comfortable with those things. Still, some of his best and most exciting plays are when things break down or when he runs the ball by design. Either one is very dangerous, but you can see him as a deep ball passer, the vertical passing game, the shots, the rhythm throws, the outs, the timing throws, the RPO throws. He's improved immensely at that part of his game, but he's always been good at the athletic part of the game.
We'll talk about the impact of Milroe in the game after we hear about the point spread and mybookie.ag, and our friends at HydroLife. Start us off, Brownie.
All right, mybookie.ag, where right now you can find this Georgia-Alabama game. The Bulldogs still holding at -2. You think that's about where it'll go off? Probably
yep.
Georgia 2?
Yep.
Georgia -2 in that one. That's about where Auburn and Oklahoma has been hanging around all week. It's up a half point. Oklahoma's a 2.5 point favorite now at Auburn with a total of 45. You can play those games at mybookie.ag. Code NEXTROUND when you sign on to mybookie.ag. You're going to make your initial deposit to play. With code NEXTROUND, they're going to double that deposit for you. So now you've got free money to play with right away. And the good news is you win once with it. It is yours and yours forever when you play at mybookie.ag. Code NEXTROUND. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
IV therapy, B12 injections, compression therapy, cryotherapy, all under one roof. It's our friends at HydroLive Therapy. Also, They've got weight loss therapy now. HydroLive combines hydration therapy with targeted weight loss treatments. They provide a comprehensive approach to weight management. 2 locations in Birmingham, the original in Homewood, Highway 119 in Greystone, also Tuscaloosa. Very important. Mention the next round. 20% off all of these great services. HydroLive Therapy, open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. You can book your appointment online at hydrolivetherapy.com. Walk-ins are welcome. Again, mention the next round. They can also send a nurse to your home or business. It's our friends at HydroLive Therapy.
Jalen Milroe's legs, maybe the most important part of this game. I don't think Georgia's had any turnovers this year.
Well, I'll tell you this. This is how you win football games. 16 consecutive quarters, going back to last year without allowing a touchdown. Do you know when their last turnover was?
It was
it in the SEC championship game against Alabama?
That Carson Beck's fumble.
Yeah, that led to a field goal, I believe.
That was the last time they turned the football over.
Yeah.
The last time they lost a game in which they didn't turn the football over was the SEC championship of 2018 to Alabama. You could view that fake punt as kind of a turnover.
Yeah, it's 100% was.
Yeah,
but technically not, but I understand.
But I don't know how you beat Georgia if they're not allowing touchdowns and they're not turning the football over.
I will say, though, they're only +3 in turnovers, having not turned it over. So they're not also creating a ton of turnovers. For comparison's sake, Alabama's dead even. They're 0. And for further comparison's sake, Auburn is -10. That is horrific through this part of the season. But, I mean, they still are only +3 in turnover margin. +7, Oklahoma leads the league. How about that? There's a stat for you when we get back to Auburn, Oklahoma. I just stumbled across this. Oklahoma leads the league. +7 in turnover margin. Auburn is dead last -10. That seems to be a bad stat for
And
Auburn.
I do want to pull one of the narratives I brought up, and I think you agreed with it. Like if Kirby was to lose this game, people are talking about, well, maybe against light teams he's not as good.
Yeah.
Kirby,
but what we're talking about is rosters.
Yeah.
You put Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, and Texas.
Okay, I'm scrubbing this, though.
Those 4, they have different rosters than everybody else.
Because doing a deeper dive, Kirby has now won 5 consecutive top 5 matchups. So against top 5 teams, he's won 5 consecutive of those games.
Okay,
so those are like rosters.
Okay, top 5 is. I mean,
that's a like roster.
Yeah.
If you're a top 5,
that's a like roster.
Do the top 5 right now. Tell me.
It's a like
top
roster.
5 right now is Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, and Alabama. So what is he against Ohio State? He beat Ohio State, but that was
he's 1-0,
42-41. Texas, he hasn't played them. Right,
I mean,
Alabama, he's lost.
Destroyed Tennessee.
Yeah, but Tennessee's just now. I mean, I go by the overall, the computer ratings.
How
the
can
last
you not
5.
go by who they played? I mean, when they were top 5, they were top 5.
I'm just saying the AP top 5 is not always.
Okay,
I mean,
I'm screwing that. So you're going to stick with that.
Well,
he's won 5 straight.
If Ole Miss Ole Miss will be in the top 5 by this time next week, you can't tell me Ole Miss's roster is comparable to Georgia and Ohio State and Alabama. And
oh yeah, you can.
I'm going to go Corso for a second, like he does on the show. If it was Alabama, he'd count Tennessee.
Gosh. No. Everybody's talked about this is finally the year that Ole Miss has the roster to match those.
Okay, but you're talking about what they've done in the past. They haven't. This year is
so
different.
You're saying the top 5 has just sucked in the past.
No, I'm saying
that's what you're saying.
You listen to me. Top 5 in the AP, I don't go by that. And that's what you're doing. I go by the top 5 overall in a 3-year time span in recruiting. The roster is not the AP top 5. I don't go by the AP top 5.
Well, I don't know if we've got those numbers. Can you dig and find that?
Oh, yeah. They put them out all the time at 24/7. The top 5 rosters last year.
So that's very, very complicated and confusing. I think it's very simple if you're lining up against a top 5 team and you've beaten them 5 consecutive times.
No, we suck. The media sucks at picking teams, and Florida State was a top 10 team. So if you were doing a set about against a top 10 team, Florida State would have been in there, and they're not a top 10 team. They're not a top 10 roster. Yeah. You go by the players, and Ohio State counts, absolutely. Alabama counts. Texas would count. Georgia. Those are the 4 rosters that are very, very different. I'd like to see who all those teams are. You're telling me who are in the top 5.
I don't know. I'm sure it would be pretty easy to find, but 5 consecutive top 5 matchups. Even more impressive, Kalen DeBoer, as short as the stint has been on this stage, in 14 games against ranked opponents. What do you guys think Kalen DeBoer is?
Oh, his record against ranked opponents is incredible. In 14?
His record in general, he's only got 12 losses.
I mean, I'm going to say 12-2 or 13-1.
He's 12-2.
Yeah. I mean, his record is incredible against top 25 and top 5.
Sort of wish Dan Lanning was coaching Georgia this weekend, to be honest with you.
And there's a record of him as an underdog, too, that I think is really good. I don't think it's happened a ton, but because I think he was underdog in both games against Oregon and Dan Lanning, right? Am I correct on that?
Yes.
and won both those. His record as an underdog, his record versus the top 5 and versus top 25, really good. And Kirby's probably
Oregon's
too,
helped him.
Sure.
I mean, Oregon's 3 of those wins.
Yeah, that's true. So is that an Oregon problem or a Atlantic problem?
And back to the top 5 wins, I would imagine that included the Tennessee win at home a few years ago, 2022, when Tennessee was number 1 in the country. That wasn't a top 5 roster. It was a good team. It was not a top 5 roster. It would have included TCU probably in the national championship game. That wasn't a top 5 roster, And I would imagine it included Michigan in the Orange Bowl. And that Michigan team's not a top 5 roster.
This is something you would not discount if it was Nick Saban.
I think it's still 1,000%. Stat.
It's very impressive.
It's just, the AP top 5 is not always the best 5 rosters in football. You have some teams that underachieve or have had tougher schedules. Let's get to can we do the viewing menu right here before we get to the top of the hour and get to college football? The viewing menu brought to you by our friends at New Life Art. Hey, you got to take advantage of an opportunity. Just a handful of these Daniel Moore autograph the legends right here. This is a mock-up of the Daniel Moore print that will come out. He will work on this, and he's, how he does. This is the image. He's going to paint it for you. The work's in progress right now, and Nick Saban has signed up to autograph a handful of these. So you want to go ahead and go to New Life Art, the website I'm about to give you in a second, and go ahead and sign up so you can get the autograph print from our friends at New Life Art. What you have here is the legend, Nick Saban's time in Tuscaloosa, where he brought 6 national championships. Daniel A. Moore, who's made become a legend in his own right of painting great moments in Alabama history. You can pre-order it right now by going to danielmooreart.com, danielmooreart.com. And again, Nick Saban will autograph some of the prints that are available when you go pre-order right now. danielmooreart.com, danielmooreart.com. What are you watching tonight, Tyler, other than football?
We've got a couple Thursday night previews for new releases tonight. First up, the movie I will be seeing tonight, Megalopolis. This is directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and it's basically the story of the fall of Rome, but set in modern America.
Francis Ford Coppola still alive?
Oh, yeah.
And spending about $300 million of his own money to make this movie.
We talk, me and Tyler were talking about this. This thing looks like a complete mess, and I love Coppola. My favorite war film is Apocalypse Now. Obviously, The Godfather speak for themselves. But watching this trailer, it almost just blows my mind, trying to keep up with what is going on.
So wait, just time out. The guy who did The Godfather is still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How young was he when he did The Godfather?
He was young. He's 80 now.
That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Because I would have pictured the guy to do a masterpiece like The Godfather had to be in his 40s or 50s.
He was probably 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there wasn't a big expectation with The Godfather.
I'm just saying that blows my mind.
But he needed the cash. That's why he went back to Godfather 3 and made that horrible movie. But I'm surprised he still got that much cash since he had to do a cash grab with Godfather 3.
There's no way. And look, I don't know where you fall on Rotten Tomatoes. I think they're accurate on some things. They're not on others.
Like the AP Top 5.
Yeah. I think this thing is going to get destroyed. I haven't even seen the reviews yet. Have you?
I've seen some that are basically saying what we've been saying, that it's a mess.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it ends up being better than what the critics say, but some of the cinematography and the color grading in it looks really great.
It's got 51% right now.
And you'll see it tonight, and you'll post your review online?
Not sure about the posting part, but I will have one. Ready to go.
Yeah. You'll have a review for us, okay.
It'll star Adam Driver, Giancarlo Esposito, Grace VanderWaal, Shia LaBeouf, Aubrey Plaza, John Voight, Dustin Hoffman, and Lawrence Fishburne.
Grief, they're all in that movie.
They're all in this movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Boy, the budget. What was the budget? $120 million.
Yeah. I want to see it.
And then finally, we got The Wild Robot. I'll probably see this tomorrow. And it is a robot named Roz, shipwrecked on a deserted island, who has to adapt to her new surroundings. And she starts taking care of an abandoned goose.
Is that a documentary?
No, it's an animated movie from DreamWorks.
Oh, I thought she was doing keg stands. What's the Wild Robot for?
He was joking. Yes. You took it serious.
Yes. Oh, no, that is not a documentary.
No, it's not a documentary. It's actually an animated movie. That's what
robot taking care of a goose on a deserted island. I knew it wasn't true, Rob.
That's what Tyler's watching tonight, brought to you by our friends at New Life Art there. Go order The Legend right there. Don't forget tomorrow we're at the Rabbit Hole. We're looking forward to that. One more thing before we get to the top of the hour, continuing the college football. You don't do 11 a.m. games usually unless you love one, LT.
Right.
Trend and Angle, they were discussing this on Reddit a couple of times this week, Reddit College Football. And BYU plays at Baylor, 11 o'clock FS1. BYU, known as the Vampire Team, is a stat they've been keeping up with a couple of years now. In games with no sunlight since 2019, where not even the kickoff with the setting sun in Provo.
And they seem like they play 90% of their games when the sun is set.
With no sunlight, no setting sun in Provo, nothing, no sunlight at all, they are 28-3 since 2019.
Yeah, ask Kansas State. They got a dose of that Saturday night.
28-3
was rocking.
It was.
When that kid returned that long punt, that 90-yard punt.
It was a great play.
Yeah.
No sunlight, 28-3. When there's sunlight, setting sun, or in this case, an 11 a.m. game, or Dome Stadium, that puts you in the 28-3 category. Yeah. This is an outdoor day game, morning game.
Nothing but sunlight in this one.
17-19.
That's a trend and/or angle that favors Baylor.
The thing that bothers me with Baylor is, look, they had that game in hand against Colorado.
Is that what they do?
Yeah.
They're just not a good team.
They're not either.
Well, how they lost that Colorado game.
But boy, it is weird that they are
to both give up a Hail Mary touchdown and fumble the ball through the end zone in overtime. To have both those happen within about a 20-minute period.
Next night game at Provo, I'd come out in vampire uniforms. I'd have a BYU, like a Fang or something on the helmet.
We've got a code of conduct where you can't drink a Coke.
Vampires.
But yeah,
they're going to suck blood.
Yeah, there's no caffeine in blood.
Hey, but by the way, you tell me.
It's in mine. I drink these Diet Cokes. I have to go down in style.
You tell me you have no faith in the AP. I will tell you Vegas knows what they're doing on these games, though. And you've got 4-0, ranked number 22 BYU at 2-2. Baylor coming off a crushing loss, and Baylor's a 3.5-point favorite.
That's Baylor, right? That's what you're telling me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. Daylight. Yeah. They're the vampire team. They're going to – what do? You burn if you're a vampire?
You burn.
When you get sunlight, you start burning?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Another hour to go on the show. When we come back, show being brought to you by our buddies at Gutter Cap. Maggie came out yesterday and said, hey, this water overflowing in this part of the gutter, what do you think the problem is here? And I said, our gutter's clogged.
Right. It's gutter cap.
And we don't have gutter cap here at the old town home. We need to get gutter cap. You can do it very easily.
Yeah, look, he'll come out and give you an absolutely free estimate. I did it years and years ago. 45% off the retail price. Look, weather is kind of bad. The leaves are falling. The rain's out there. You want to keep the gutters clean and free-flowing. The answer is gutter cap. Call my good friend Chris Stewart, 205-823-2212. The last thing you want to do this time of year is get on the roof, you slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. You're no good to the wife or kids. Cap it, don't snap it. 205-823-2212 or guttercapbirmingham.com.
The 2024 Yellowwood 500 weekend is coming back to Talladega Superspeedway Friday, October 4th through Sunday, October 6th. Reserve your spot today by visiting TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Enhance your weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience presented by Cool-Raid, the most immersive garage experience in NASCAR. Reserve your seat, your spot in the infield, or your camping site for the Yellowwood 500 weekend Friday, October 4th through Sunday, October 6th. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
From the creators of The Next Round comes two new sites, covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. Two team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. Covercrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
Hey, you feel that? That's fall in the air. And New Balance Birmingham got your fresh fall pair. To kick it during game time and sport from the sideline. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Hey, this is Matt Roth, the franchisee of Walk On Sports Bistro in Birmingham. With the kickoff of football season, come visit us at one of our 3 locations, Stadium Trace, Greystone, or Trussville. Come enjoy our scratch kitchen menu while watching one of our 80 TVs. Whether you're looking for a pre- or post-game celebration, game day, or date night, we've got you covered. It's all about the win at Walk On Sports Bistro. Walk On, where everybody needs a little playing time.
Back with you on the Next Round. LTD&B with you. Tyler is back running the board. Forrester's back with us. Glad he's back with us. Appreciate EG rushing up here to hang out. Got Taylor Korn back there doing everything social media-wise. Boy, the amount of content she kicks out on a daily basis. And then Forrester's got all the news conferences and clips from the show. If you're not following us at Next Round Live on Twitter or on Instagram or TikTok or everywhere else, Facebook, you're missing a lot of great college football content, not just from this show, but also from covercrimson.com, covercrimson.com, and thebarnauburn.com, where they've got live shows going every day. The Top Button podcast, if you're an Auburn fan, that's every morning at thebarnauburn.com, Monday through Friday. You can just go there and get a nice 15, 20 minutes of Auburn news every morning from Kyle Rush. The Top Button podcast every morning's there for you at thebarnauburn.com, and that's free. That's not premium content there. But a lot of the other premium content stuff available to you starting at just $1 a month. Same over at Cover Crimson. Every day, a free show for you is there with Clint Lamb and a variety of different guests. Mike Johnson's over on that platform. Go check it out, covercrimson.com, thebarnauburn.com. for all the content that you want right there. They're brought to you in part by our friends at A+.
A+ Tile Home Remodeling there, Jimmy D. That's who redid the master bathroom in the Brown house. My wife, when it came time to do the master bath, what'd she do on the internet, boys?
She scoured it.
She scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job. Brad Bell was the guy she picked after talking to numerous contractors, reading reviews, talking to people that had used other contractors. I'm certainly glad she picked Brad because he does tremendous work. You know what he did? He came in and we had a lighter bathroom, as Scott showed you a moment ago, and we wanted a darker bathroom. So he came in and did it to our vision. And Lance saw it and he's like, man, I like this. But Lance's bathroom was darker. He wanted it lighter. That just shows you Brad's going to do it the way you want it done, not some vision he has. One other thing he warned me about is you may see commercials for these one-day bathroom remodel deals. He said, man, you can price them, but you're going to find their prices are more than mine. And a lot of times they just come in and throw a shower over an existing shower, which sounds disgusting. Master bath, kitchen, master bedroom, closets. That's what Brad specializes in. 205-422-1758. For Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling, 205-422-1758.
All right, we're about to hear a little sound from Hugh Freeze and Lane Kiffin from yesterday's teleconference. So this is no video, audio only. It's the teleconference, and it starts earlier. The way, if you're not familiar with the Wednesday SEC teleconferences, every coach has a assigned time, about 15 minutes, I'd say, and they answer questions on game weeks. And then
it's every bit as boring as it sounds.
It does. And then another coach comes on, and it is very boring. EG sets in and listens to it for us almost every week.
God bless her.
In its entirety. But Hugh Freeze was up before Lane Kiffin. Hugh Freeze gets asked about NIL and, the impact on that and everything that goes on with recruiting. And he makes a compliment in a roundabout way for one school. And then that coach, Lane Kiffin, comes back and gets asked about Hugh's comments from earlier in the day. And then Lane goes a little bit of, high fastball, high inside fastball on Hugh Freeze. Here's how it went down on the teleconference yesterday.
For so many years, those of us who are older, have built programs on team chemistry and culture in the locker room, and that being a winning edge. And I think the new world, that's become harder and harder to do, and you're constantly searching ways with this new way of transferring and NIL to figure out exactly how to do it. And I think there's some that are doing it really well. If you look at Ole Miss and Missouri, I think they've done some really good things, it looks like, and trying to use NIL to their advantage, and they've been able to maintain a winning edge.
Coach, we asked an NIL related question today. Coach Freeze, by the way, paid your program a very nice compliment on your management of NIL.
Well, that's nice of Coach Freeze to compliment our management of our collective. So I'm sure he'll try to steal Walker Jones like he's tried all of our coaches also. So,
yeah. So
whoa! I just said it was boring.
Yeah, you want to hear that again? Just give me the Lane Kiffin part of this. It's Mike Griffith, by the way, asking the question that we'd asked you earlier. Just that part right there, Tyler. Hit it again.
Wow.
Program a very nice compliment on your management of NIL.
Well, that's nice of Coach Freeze to compliment our management of our collective. So I'm sure he'll try to steal Walker Jones like he's tried all of our coaches also. So.
My word.
So where's the love meter between Hugh and Lane?
Very,
right now?
very low. Empty gym. I mean, Lane, says a lot of things, but man, just to take a direct shot at Hugh Freeze like that's pretty wild.
Yeah. Walker Jones runs the collective, obviously, at Ole Miss. But try to steal our coaches too, I guess, is what Lane was saying.
Man. I mean, that's just such a direct shot at and by name.
Yeah.
Not like, hey, listen, our collective's so good. There's one coach in the SEC that has tried to steal our other coaches. I'm sure he'll try to steal.
You
Walker
think
Jones
Greg Sankey gets involved with this? Hey, we got to play nice.
I don't know what level it has to get to.
It could rise up to that level at some point, but
I
wouldn't say yet.
Look, I don't hate it because look, these things do get redundant and boring. But you really can't have coaches in the league calling out other coaches like that.
It's not a good look. I would agree with you 100%. You don't want that to be the case. But
again, I think it's fun for us.
Oh, yeah. No. I want it all the time. Yeah. That's great for us. But that's so.
How much of this is that Hugh had some success at Ole Miss? And I think some people would say that Lane. Maybe even in the mybookie.ag chat room, some people would say that Lane wanted the Auburn job and he didn't get it, so he's going to do anything to try to burn Auburn down.
Whether or not Lane truly wanted the Auburn job and didn't get it, if that, I think the fact, Lance, that anybody thinks they chose Hugh Freeze over Lane bothers Lane, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that you will do anything you can then if you're Lane to make him look bad.
But the only thing I would say, if I'm Lane, it seems like Ole Miss fans are much more comfortable now with Lane than they were with Freeze, as much as they might have liked Freeze at his height. Like, I think Ole Miss fans are really excited about where this thing's going. So if I'm Lane, I just stay in my own lane. I don't even worry about it.
This is the best shape the Ole Miss football program has been in my lifetime.
Yeah, I agree.
In my lifetime.
Yeah.
And I'm the oldest one up here.
Yeah. I mean, I cannot remember a time where Ole Miss has been this consistently good.
Yeah, I thought with Hugh Freeze it was a dangerous team. This Ole Miss team could be a postseason team, though.
Yeah.
And even back to Houston Nutt. And I think those teams kind of underachieved. I think going into the season, there was one or two of those teams that was like top 10. But, those were solid teams at Ole Miss. But yeah, where Lane's got them right now, and we'll see. I mean, I still don't know 100% if this is an elite team. We'll know soon.
Is this we don't get Auburn and Ole Miss this year?
It's an Alabama and Ole Miss. I mean, what a great year
for Lane to run his mouth.
Well, I mean,
it really is.
It would have been such a good year. Wouldn't you love to see Alabama go to Oxford or Ole Miss come to Tuscaloosa this year? I mean, I just hate it that those. I mean, look, it's.
Right now, I'd rather see Ole Miss and Auburn on the schedule together.
Well, after that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a couple of times he's
don't think Auburn will see that.
Auburn fans are okay that doesn't happen currently.
Yeah, I understand. All right, we'll bounce around college football. Some big games on the schedule. I want to ask the guys back in rapid form. And we got Brown's Tradition coming up after Buster Olney in the next segment, so we'll get to that. Tyler's Four Downs is later on in this segment in just a second. But our friends at the Pants Store want to make sure you're dressed just right. I think both EG and Little T were at Jordan Hare this week, both in outfits from the Pants Store. They'll be dressed throughout the year with the great gear from the Pants Store. They're your game day headquarters. A couple locations in Birmingham, Huntsville, Leeds, Tuscaloosa, and Auburn. It all started in Leeds, but it's spread all over the state now on campuses in Tuscaloosa and Auburn as well. And you get, of course, the Bama Auburn polos and hats and quarter zips, Horn Legend, Cutter and Buck, Antigua, and Gentile. It's all right there, too. And ladies, don't forget the rompers and the dresses with free alterations and free gift wrapping for the holiday season. Nothing says Roll Tide or War Eagle like our friends at the Pants Store. Go online and order anywhere in America, pantstore.com. pantstore.com, and by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Just a little bit of 66 degrees this morning had to make you think, we're going to have to turn the heat on pretty soon. It's time to get it checked out.
I love it. 205-229-2090. That is the number you need to call. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew. The guys there. Whether you experience any of these plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home, trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of these issues. 205-229-2090. Or hemphillservices.com.
Landmine believer in the MyBookie.ag chat room says Hugh has taken a PR beating this week.
It has, but a couple of shots from Lane.
He's had worse, but but yeah, I mean, it has not been a great PR week for Hugh Freeze. I mean,
it wasn't the red phone that was ringing for his agent. It just a call.
Yeah, I mean, you've had fans that are frustrated with him. You know, he said things that either have been twisted or he shouldn't have said. Whatever the case might be, they've been played out. Now you got another coach in his own conference taking a direct shot at him. On a conference run event, by the way. Keep in mind, this was not Lane Kiffin speaking at the Jackson Quarterback Club. He thought he was off the record. He's on something that the SEC is doing. He's the SEC teleconference. They're running that, and he's in there taking a shot at him.
Yeah, that's very interesting. By the way, before we bounce around the rest of the country, back to Georgia, Alabama, injury reports out yesterday. Landon Humphreys is officially out, as is Tate Ratledge. He is out as well. For Alabama, Rousseau is probable.
Well, this was as good as it could be.
Malachi Moore not even listed it. And so basically Alabama comes in healthy for this contest.
You had three guys probable, nobody out, nobody questionable, three probable guys. It's as healthy as Alabama could be. Contrast that, we just mentioned, I don't know if Lane is just playing games here. Did you see the Ole Miss injury report?
I did not.
I think there were 30 players on it.
That's Lane playing games.
Yeah,
I think it is too.
They weren't all out. I mean, but there were like 30. I'll count it to see, but I mean, there were a ton of players on
that.
How does he have time to do TikTok with his daughter and all these injury reports?
And the injury reports right there. That is 100% him just making fun of. And I felt like he was one of the guys that wanted to do the injury report. And now he's gonna do that. Okay, around the country, we got Army and Temple tonight. Army a 12.5-point favorite with our friends at mybookie.ag. They are unbeaten in the American. 6:30 on ESPN tomorrow night. Couple of really interesting games. Virginia Tech in Miami. Boy, Virginia Tech's getting a boatload of points for a team at one point was supposed to consider for the ACC. Can they put it together and ruin Miami's season?
The offense is not what we saw in the second half of last year, and that's when they seemed to really turn things around. And you had 21 of 22 starters coming back, and Kyron Drones just hasn't been as good as he was, and a lot of people are saying maybe it's the play calling. I just know Miami is clicking on all cylinders right now.
They're going to lose a game, though, don't you think?
Miami, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you
I don't think it's this one.
You don't think it's this one?
No.
You in the offseason, I could have convinced you it was this one. You like Virginia Tech. They have not lived up to what you thought they were going to be.
No, not at all.
But, I mean, Miami's going to drop a game somewhere. Now, when I look at Miami's schedule, I've talked about that Cal game But then I saw Cal go play Florida State. I don't know that it's going to be Cal now.
Yeah, but it's back at Berkeley.
It
so
is
makes
in
it
Berkeley.
different.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough place to play.
2.5 for Rutgers in Washington. That looks easy money for me, LT. Keep that in mind tomorrow night when you're making your picks at lancetaylor.com. Looks like easy money. Rutgers only having to give 2.5 to Washington. Rutgers is a better football
Little
team.
advice.
Kentucky and Ole Miss, 11 a.m. ABC. Ole Miss 17.5. They're hosting Kentucky. Could that be as tricky of a game for Lane Kiffin and the Rebels as it was for Kirby and the Bulldogs?
Oh, I don't know. This Kentucky defense, though, has been really good. Like, nobody's talking about them. They've lost 3 straight to Ole Miss. They're only allowing 217 yards per game, 6 fewest in the FBS. But when you start to look at what Ole Miss is doing, your national leader in points per game, yards per game, the defense is only allowing 5.5 points per game. It's been pretty incredible. The 5th team since 1950 to score 200 points and allow fewer than 25 through 4 games in the history of college football.
In Oxford, they're an 18-point underdog, Kentucky is. Now, I think they were a much larger underdog to Georgia in Lexington, were they not?
But, we had those coaches that lose games they shouldn't lose. I mean, Lane Kiffin has not been that guy. He's 56-3 as a double-digit favorite straight up.
Beats sort of like Ryan Day, beats the people he's supposed to beat.
Yeah.
You got to win some of the big games. One more before we get to Tyler's 4 downs here. It's Minnesota, Michigan. Michigan -9 this morning at mybookie.ag, 11 a.m. on Fox. Joel Klatt earlier this week, big noon kickoff. Is it like a wrapper? Is it the little brown jug or is it little brown jug? Is it little?
That's a good question. I think it's little. And keep in mind, they take this so seriously. That was the restaurant Harbaugh got popped in for buying that meal during COVID, the brown jug.
The brown jug.
That's right.
Does anybody know, is it the little brown jug or is it the little brown
look
jug?
it up. It's not my tradition.
I think it's the little brown jug.
So they spell it out. Minnesota, Michigan, one of those rivalry games. Can Michigan really win football games? How many more can they win by only running the football?
Well, on that schedule, there'll be some.
I don't know. I do think Michigan's quarterback situation is better than what P.J. Fleck has. I brought this up to Clapp, and I was not joking. I think Minnesota might have the worst quarterback situation right now. The total's only 35.5. This will be an awful offensive game. I don't think Michigan can keep it up, but I don't know when you start to look at the schedule, like how many big-time landmines are on that schedule.
So you're telling me, real quick before I answer that question, that Minnesota's got a worse quarterback situation than Michigan?
They do.
That's pretty bad, Lance. The landmines on that schedule, do you think at Washington's a landmine?
No.
Okay.
At Washington could be.
I'll tell you one that
Well, they're playing better than I thought they would be.
After a bye week, they're at Illinois now. Illinois is about to take a loss before that. Because they got Ohio State.
They will not score on that Illinois defense. I mean, they'll score. They will not score consistently.
They've still got Oregon. They're still at OhioAte. So to answer your question, there are landmines. Yes.
Tyler's 4 downs after I remind you our friends at Precision Sports gets you back in the game. Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, 205-512-3885, 512-3885, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. All the tweaks, the pulls, the pains, and the breaks, they'll take care of you. LT and I have sent our daughters, different family, but we've sent our daughters there when they've had injuries. We've gone there ourselves. We trust them that much. You should too. They diagnose, treat, and rehab it. Locations in Jasper, Fultondale, Alabaster, and all around the Birmingham area. Orthopedic care, better together. They're like family. Find your provider today, 205-512-3885. precisionsportsortho.com/2024. And our friends at Slice bringing you 4 downs today.
Yeah, 5 great locations. The original Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park. The newest location in Edgewood. Stop and see the Vijaya Brothers, local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
When was the last time you bought a trading card or a pack of trading cards, and what were they? Or the last one you received?
I actually think I know the answer to this. I'm not even guessing. I bought a full set at Sam's Club. My parents, when Sam's Club opened in Birmingham, I don't know if y'all know what year that would have been.
It was mid-'80s.
Mid-'80s. So this was the 1987 Topps full set. Sam's Club had a full set of baseball cards, and I'd cut grass or whatever, so I had money. I just bought a full set. And I don't know why I really wanted it, but baseball cards seemed hot, and I had the full set, so I was like, I got everyone this year now. And I think that's the last trading card I ever bought.
So, well, I don't know the last one I bought, but just because you bring this up, I'll never forget. It was the 1984 Fleer, and they came in a transparent pack of 3s, and the Food World behind Red Lobster in Vestavia, There used to be a Food World up in the back.
Yep.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about behind that Red Lobster on 31?
Yes.
And there was a big bin, and I bought so many Fleer that summer, I was able to build multiple sets myself, which is really, that takes a lot of buying to actually build a set, one through whatever it was.
No doubt, yeah.
But that sticks out to me.
Would Pokemon cards count? Because technically I had to buy them for my son.
Yeah.
I think he's still at the house, boxes and boxes of those. But for me, it would be back into the 70s at the Little League ballpark or early 80s.
Now, when I was a kid, they had these things called Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah.
And they had trading cards. I think that might have predated the Topps cards I bought. But we used to have the Garbage Pail Kids cards.
Technically, we had some trading cards at NBC 13 back in the day, but there was no face value for that. Every anchor on air person had a trading card.
Where do you get those?
I don't know where they are now, but you could make them back then. Yeah, I had my stats on the back was 2 Emmys. Go ahead.
Second down.
What movie disappointed you the most?
Well, there were a couple, like Triple Frontier. I don't know if you ever saw this. It was a Netflix original, 2019. Ben Affleck, Pedro Pascal, Oscar Isaac, and I was just waiting for this to come out. It was one of the first original Netflix movies to come out. And it was really cool. Special ops, they get back together, they go to rob a cartel. Thought the premise was great, the trailer looked great, and the movie was just And then I'm a Ridley Scott fan. Cormac McCarthy, great author. They took The Counselor was the movie, I think it was like 13 or 14. Javier Bardem was in it. Michael Fassbender was in it. And it was terrible.
What was this ship movie that came out streaming during the pandemic?
Oh, Greyhound. Yeah, Greyhound. It was not as good as you wanted it to be, yeah.
Yeah, not as good as I wanted it to be.
Toys with Robin Williams. You remember that movie?
I've never seen that one.
Toys, 1987, 88.
Don't waste your time.
I've never seen it.
Same time I was buying baseball cards. I thought it was going to be like this, laugh out loud comedy, and I guess it was supposed to be a dark comedy. I don't really know what it was supposed to be. Don't waste your time. Robin Williams, love him. More coming up in a moment, but don't waste your time on that.
If you want a dark comedy with Robin Williams, have you seen Death to Smoochie?
I have not.
Edward Norton.
Wait, is that where there's a stuffed animal running around upstairs?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, Jimmy D. You've never seen Death to Smoochie?
I have never seen Death to Smoochie. Edward Norton's in it. I'll tell you, Insomnia, Christopher Nolan with Robin Williams is really good. 1 Hour Photo is really creepy with Robin Williams.
1 Hour Photo's good.
Yeah.
Third down.
Today, 10 years ago, The Equalizer starring Denzel Washington came out. So I've got to ask, what was your favorite Denzel Washington role?
So I didn't think The Equalizer was bad. Just sticking with that real quick. I like when he sets his watch and walks in on the Russians. Yeah. Thought that was interesting. I didn't like the other Equalizers nearly as much. But
Do
I thought
you like
one
Queen
was good.
Latifah though? You like her the best?
I haven't seen it. I've been saving that for like a off the grid
Saturday
moment or. When everything shuts down, I've got them all on DVD, ready to roll that out.
What was the one you had me watch where he
Training Day?
Where he
I didn't
takes
like
in
that
the
as
guy
much.
and and then he takes him and shows him the ropes and he ends up being
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Training Day was my favorite, but Man on Fire.
That's it.
It's pretty incredible.
Man on Fire is my favorite Denzel movie. I don't know that I would call it his best role.
Yeah.
His role in Glory was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I would say maybe was his best acting.
I mean, Malcolm X. I mean, he's done some obviously great work, but my favorite role was the one he won, and he won an Academy Award for Glory, but best actor for Training Day.
I haven't seen Man on Fire, but I will go Training Day.
Man on Fire? We talk about that all the time.
My man.
I don't think I've seen it.
You've never seen Man on Fire?
No.
One of the greatest revenge movies of all time. You will love it because you love like when somebody is mistreated and they get revenge.
And he puts plastic explosives in a guy's ass.
He does do that, yes.
See, I haven't seen
Did
that.
not end well for him.
I haven't seen it either, Joe.
I'm not into
You've
that.
never seen Man on Fire? Oh, phenomenal.
Wait, you're going to
movie.
see the crazy robot tomorrow night and you haven't seen Man on Fire?
Phenomenal movie.
Let's do fourth down.
Fourth down.
Serena Williams turns 43 today. Who had the better career, her or Robin Williams?
Well, I would rather have Robin Williams' career, but the better career's got to be Serena because Serena's hands down the best to ever do it.
Best female tennis player of all time.
I think the best female athlete of all time. Is that fair?
You could certainly make that argument.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
I think
I would
she
go
was.
with that. I think people instantly they would throw out like a Mia Hamm or Diana Taurasi, but those were team sports. I would go Serena Williams, absolutely.
Jackie Joyner Kersey, someone like that in an individual sport, but Serena did it. I've got no problem with that.
Serena Williams for me,
it's got to
too.
be Serena.
That is 4 Downs, brought to you by our friends at Slice. Those great locations, LT.
Yeah, stop in for a slice and salad today. Pick up a couple of pies for the weekend. You're going to absolutely love it. From the Hot Mama to the Soul Pie, it is Slice.
And NASCAR racing returning to Talladega, the world's fastest speedway, coming up October 4th through the 6th. We go racing on the high banks, 2.66 miles of the best playoff racing ever. Truck playoff race on Friday. Saturday, you have the Xfinity playoff race. And then Sunday, October 6th, the Yellowwood 500, the Cup playoff race. They got a rodeo at Talladega. All the stuff at Talladega. Now you got a rodeo, the Buck and Dega. Jake Owen in concert, the concert series on Saturday night. Get your tickets at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. 877 go to Dega. Buster Olney and a crazy scheduling mess in baseball next.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
NASCAR is back with the Yellowwood 500 at Talladega, Friday, October 4th through Sunday, October 6th. Get your tickets right now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or call 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Don't forget to enhance your race weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience presented by Coolray. The weekend includes Buck and Dega, a rodeo and fireworks on Friday night, Jake Owen in concert on Saturday, and the Yellowwood 500 on Sunday. Get your tickets at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It is the will to prepare to win." Hi, I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and I can tell you that our Bryant bankers have the dedication and the experience to put together a financial game plan that is right for you. At Bryant Bank, we specialize in community banking and offer personal and business loans, checking and savings account, mobile banking, and treasury management services. Stop by one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama to find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season. Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
We talked about it, I mean, in the heart of a Georgia-Alabama week in college football country. Such crazy news about the Atlanta Braves with so many fans around here. We had to go first segment on the Atlanta Braves. Let's get a professional's opinion on what this is coming down to. And no possibility of a game 163, which is mind-blowing. We could get to some math problem to decide a playoff team. I can't wait to hear what Buster has to say.
He is the professional. We'll ask about it. The great Buster Olney, ESPN, with us weekly on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Good morning, Buster. How are you today?
I'm doing great, but as you guys know, get ready for chaos.
Yep, you can count on it. Did Dave O'Brien, who covers the Braves, I know you know Dave, a lot of Braves fans like Dave, he was laying out how Major League Baseball could have handled this better. Did they butcher this situation, in your opinion?
It's no different than how they handle a lot of their situations in the past. I think generally speaking, through their experience, they don't like to be, chicken little when it comes to the weather and be like, oh my God, a week away, the forecast looks terrible. I do think that they could have had a conversation on Sunday about, this is not like some squall coming through. This is a big deal that, how the weather has affected them. The first conversation, from what I've heard from people within both the Mets and the Braves organization about this, was on Tuesday, guys. And, if you're not planning ahead, then it's not really, you're not going to be in a position to make a change. You can't do something like in the spur of the moment and say, hey, guys, get together and we'll play an afternoon game on Tuesday afternoon. If you were going to do that, you needed to have that conversation on Sunday night. That didn't happen. I do think going forward, they should anticipate better situations like this. I will tell you that, just from talking with Major League Baseball officials, they don't want to take away any team's advantage. At no point have they discussed with the Braves the idea of moving these games to another site because they don't want to take that advantage away from the Braves. And let me tell you, the Braves aren't offering either. Like they fully, given all the choices, they fully embrace the idea that we're going to, there's a very good chance we're going to wind up playing these games on Monday. And on top of that, and I'd also say this, baseball teams, I think, are generally speaking, they expect chaos. You think about the Texas Rangers last year, the way their year went, last 7 games on the road, 2 games in Tampa Bay on the road to start the playoffs, 2 games in Baltimore in the division series, 11 straight games on the road. And that became part of the Rangers' story when they went on and won the World Series. People I talked to in the Braves organization yesterday were like, yep, it's less than ideal. It stinks. We have a lot of choices we have to make about our pitching staff. Welcome to baseball.
and I do like the chaos. The baseball purist out there, I mean, we would have had this thing locked in Philadelphia and Dodgers, and that would have been it. And now you've got so many different things that could happen. Mets, Diamondbacks, Braves. Right now, though, of those 3, who do you think is the best and could actually make a good postseason run?
The Mets. I think right now they're as good an overall team. And I just saw them on Sunday Night Baseball playing the Phillies. They are playing really well, and they have a very good all-around team. It's depth in the lineup. It's rotation with Sean Manaea, Luis Severino taking a big step forward this year. Edwin Diaz at the back end of the bullpen. He looks great right now. The Braves, if the Braves win in the postseason, it's going to be because they ride that great pitching staff. If the Diamondbacks win in the postseason, it's going to be because they would ride the backs of this incredible offense, despite the fact that they've had this terrible pitching. So there are a lot of incomplete teams right now. I think the Mets are actually one of the more complete teams among the playoff clubs.
Well, when you heard there would be no possibility of a 163, we could get into lengthy tiebreakers. What did you think? I mean, for me as a kid, Bucky Dent was one of the great moments in baseball history.
I know. And they had those conversations a couple of years ago when they restructured the playoff format. I personally like the idea that you could, have a playoff game. I mean, heck, ESPN has broadcast some of those, so I'm a little bit biased. But I also think that by going to tiebreakers, it underscores something really important in baseball, and that is the integrity of the 162 and having that mean something. You know what? If you are the Kansas City Royals, you own the tiebreaker against the Detroit Tigers because you beat them during the course of the year. I think they don't have it against the Minnesota Twins. Those things are important. I think that, respecting what's gone on over the 6 months versus playing one game at the end, if I'm making a choice, I'd rather go with a 162 perspective.
I feel like there's no thinking that Major League Baseball wanted this doubleheader on Monday with all this on the line, right? That's really what they wanted. No. I mean,
no. Now I will tell you this. I had someone in baseball say to me yesterday, "Are we upset that you guys are all talking about the chaos that we have down the stretch and we're talking about the baseball scenario?" No, they're not. It's kind of like when a fight breaks out. On one hand, Major League Baseball is not going to condone fighting. And on the other hand, they're like, "Well, that's too bad. Everyone's talking about that major brawl that broke out." And I think baseball, they like the idea that we're talking about this, but so they'll sit back and watch. I am going to be fascinated, guys. Today, I called into the Braves organization. Today, they're sitting out and they're walking through all the scenarios about how they should handle their pitching staff as they go forward. They could just keep it in line. Chris Sale, right, could go in the game on Friday. But you also could try to finesse it and say, you know what, we're going to announce that Sale, because Sale can only pitch, once between now and the end of Monday. And so maybe you could line it up so that he's one of your starting pitchers on Monday. And if those games turn out to be, you make the postseason before that, then maybe he's in line to pitch game one of the playoffs. If you start him on Friday, your attitude is, look, we just need to win today's game, and you focus on winning the game on Friday and Sale pitches then, he would be available to pitch in game 2 of a series, likely against the Milwaukee Brewers. There are a lot of different ways to go on this thing. Just knowing, Brian Snitker, knowing Alex Anthopoulos, my guess is they just take it game by game and just say, we want the best available starter to us today.
Buster, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were one of those that never panicked on the Astros. I think there were other people in your business that the Astros get off to a horrific start in April. They're 10 games back at one particular time, but they do typical Astros things, and they find a way to win the AL West. Were you in that camp where you really never panicked with the Astros, and how big of a threat are they right now in the AL?
So at no point did I say, yeah, they're done. Kind of like a couple of years ago when I told you guys that there was no way the Braves could win the division. And then they came storming back, right? I didn't make the same mistake. I did say they were in trouble. And, the question was whether or not they could get their pitching back together. And Hunter Brown has taken a huge step forward. This is someone who is a high draft pick, a touted prospect, but for whatever reason, he would always find an inning or two that would fall apart on him during each of his starts. He's overcome that. Framber Valdez has rediscovered that great sinker that he has. He's gotten better. Yusei Kikuchi was maybe the best trade addition for any team in baseball. So they are stabilized for sure. And that group of veterans that they have on that team remind me so much of the late 90s Yankees teams that I covered, where the players just, assume, when the chips are down, biggest games of the year, we will figure it out. There's a reason why the Astros have played in 7 straight American League Championship Series.
If I asked you a question, would you want to be, if I gave you 1 day salary, $7,000 for 1 day, but you have to be the usher today in Oakland for the A's final game, and you're responsible for keeping things in check in your section and nothing getting broken or stolen, would you take the $7,000?
I would do it today, because hopefully people there, based on the social media posts that I'm seeing, a lot of reporters and other folks are reminding the fans, look, John Fisher, the horrible owner of the A's, doesn't own the ballpark. You're stealing. You're not stealing from John Fisher, okay? You're not making a statement by ripping seats out of that place. This is such an incredibly sad situation. They should have found a way to keep the ballpark there. And, I saw some tweets this morning. People are ripping Rob Manfred. It's not Rob Manfred, okay? It's the 30 owners refusing to hold each other accountable. At some point, I can't believe the other 29 owners haven't stepped up and said, John Fisher, this is a terrible situation that you've created for us. It's going to be an embarrassment going forward. The idea they're going to play games in a AAA park in Sacramento for the next 3 years is a joke. And every day, they're going to all look like a joke because this is going to be going on. And by the way, it's going to be a disaster. If you guys have seen the weather in Sacramento this year, it's over 100 degrees every day. It's going to be awful. And it's going to continue. And at no point did the other owner step in and say, hey, John, you know what? We're going to buy the team off you, and we're going to take, because you're not living up to our standards. And whether it's tanking, or whether it's the sign stealing that went on in baseball, or whether it's the A's situation, the other owners will not hold themselves to be accountable. And it's terrible. It's awful for the whole business.
Well, and that organization, Buster, like the iconic uniform, they've had so many, early 70s, they were so good. The 80s, Billy Beane's tenure and the way he actually assembled the roster. I was just going to ask you, like, for me, and it was a negative moment for them, but I just remember Dennis Eckersley being such a lockdown closer in 88, and game one, obviously, with Gibson going up there. And a Dodger fan, that was one of my great sports memories. But when I think A's, I just think about how dominant Eckersley was for that moment in time. What is that one A's memory for you?
Man, and that, of course, is being grown up a Dodger fan, I was tortured by that team. They beat my Dodgers in 1974 in the World Series. I think the swag of those teams, always jumped out. Charlie Finley, the late owner, he paid players to grow mustaches in the late 60s, early 70s, and they had more hair than any other team, and they ran more than any other team. And they had Reggie Jackson, having having the swag that he did. You had guys in the clubhouse having fights, Bill North against Vida Blue, and I mean, that team was so fun and had such a style. And the idea that that's going to go away, it is so sad. And that fan base, look, they don't show up at 50,000 people the way that they necessarily do at Dodger Stadium every game. But those who show up have always been incredibly passionate. And you will see that passion, I think, in their last games.
Charlie Finley, by the way, an Alabama native, Inslee, Alabama, right here. And, we had the Birmingham A's for a long period of time. We talked about that earlier this year. And he's the owner, if I remember correctly, that took the team from Kansas City to Oakland, right? He's the guy that took them out there.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And he was he was an innovator. He was advocating for orange baseballs, for designated runners, for, making it a more palpable product. He also was incredibly cheap.
Yep.
And I don't know how many lawsuits went between he and Major League Baseball during his tenure. He made two of the more famous trades that weren't approved. They were killed by the commissioner, where he sold players. He sold Vida Blue to the Yankees. He sold Joe Rudy and Raleigh Fingers to the Red Sox. And the commissioner overturned those trades for the good of baseball.
I remember you brought up the Oakland memory. I don't know why but the 90 World Series when the Reds swept them was just so shocking to me.
Well, I mean, think about those A's teams.
They were so good.
They beat the Giants, but they lose to the Dodgers and the Reds as better teams.
I know. I mean, they had the Bash brothers. They had Dave Stewart. They had Eckersley. I mean, that was such a good team, and it just seemed like that Reds team was just a ragtag group.
Yeah, and they also that A's team were sort of one at the core of what became the steroid era.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I remember Tony Gwynn, the great star for the San Diego Padres, telling me going in to do a workout in the Oakland weight room in spring training and seeing the amount of weights the players were lifting, and he was like, "Oh my God!" You had McGuire and you had Canseco and all those guys. I mean, they were an incredibly dynamic team with great players. They have always stood out among franchises, and it's not only about the colors, the green and gold.
I covered the 1990 Reds. Leave it to this bunch right here to say that Larkin, the Nasty Boys, Eric Davis, I believe, in center field, were a bunch of ragtag guys.
They were a massive underdog.
Having a big moment in the World Series. That was cool.
It's a ragtag group.
Yeah, they're not a ragtag group.
So, Buster, tell me the last time the A's had a winning record. I'm looking at this right here.
It's got to be like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was 2021.
Right.
Well, I guess, in 2020, weird year, they were 36-24. I mean, they had a good run from 18, 19, 20, 21, and then it obviously went off the rails.
Okay, so the great thing about the A's franchise, being operated under Billy Beane, and I'm not going to have the years exactly right, but generally speaking, and I had this conversation with Billy as the practice of tanking really began to gain popularity among owners, to save money. Billy was appalled by that. Like, he couldn't stand the idea of what Houston did and what the Cubs did in the early 2010s. And every year, they had to sell off players because he's given a budget. He has to work within the budget. So he trades a Tim Hudson. He trades a Mark Mulder. He makes those deals, but he always put together great teams. He was trying to win from a period, I believe, of 1997 to 2012. The two teams with the best records, or were always 500 in that stretch, were the New York Yankees and the Oakland A's. Billy did a great job of keeping that team competitive despite their payroll challenges.
Next time we talk to Buster, it will be Wild Card Thursday, and there are few times of year, if any, that are better than when we've got Major League postseason, NFL, and college football going on at the same time. It's terrific. We will be in the midst of that next Thursday with Buster. Thank you so much for the time, Buster. Have a great weekend.
All right, guys, hang in there. It's going to be wild this weekend.
Thank you, Buster.
See you, Buster. Buster Olney with us each week on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
And the show being brought to you by our friends at Milo's, feeding a food vacuum, a food gap here in our state of Alabama.
Hey, can you name something better than a Milo's burger? The only answer here would be 100 Milo's burgers, which can now be easily done through Milo's Catering. We had Mary Duncan, Mary Rose come up and cater an event on Friday for us. Absolutely love that. Catering options range from individualized box lunches, ideal for any work or team gatherings, to customized build your own burger bars, which would be a hit at any tailgate. Also, special offer for the listeners out there, Milo's offering $10 off for the first time catering orders this fall. Enter the code catering10, all caps catering10, when you order Milo's Catering through the Milo's mobile app. To learn more about Milo's catering options, please visit miloshamburgers.com/catering. That is miloshamburgers.com/catering. Stay saucy.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. UCA has over 35 urologists at 16 locations across the state of Alabama. That's spread out so that you can have a urologist from Urology Centers of Alabama close to you to help you in your life, guys. They treat all your urological needs, from prostate health to kidney stones, vasectomies, anything you need to stay on top of your health. Visit urologycentersalabama.com, urologycentersalabama.com to schedule your appointment today. 16 locations, find yours, urologycentersalabama.com. All right, Forrester's in the back. He's got some things queued up for Brownies Spotlight today, Tyler. We're going to do the Thursday tradition today. And Brownie, it's brought to you by our friends at McCurry Van and Car Rental.
That's right. When you're ready to rent, including in Tuscaloosa this weekend, you can rent from McCurry, not only Tuscaloosa on Skyline Boulevard, but also Coleman, 2nd Avenue Northwest, Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville. Need a car, van, or truck? Rent from McCurry, 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. That's McCurryRentals.com.
The College Football Spotlight.
College football's best traditions.
Hey, so Brown, can I just ask you?
You may. You can ask me anything.
Can we guess where you're going here? I have no idea.
You will not, but you can try.
I would say that it's either. Well, I've got two guesses.
Well, it's not going to be the Little Brown Jug, so don't guess that one.
I would say UNC Duke.
Okay. That's not a whole lot of tradition in football there, is it?
Yeah. No, but there might be something there. Yeah. And the other one would possibly be...
I've got a guess. My guess is New Mexico State. There's something you saw at Alien Fest when you were out there about that rivalry.
Middle Tennessee State and Memphis?
As my colleagues here are proving to you, this was a tough week to find a good tradition to talk about. So we steered away from the Little Brown Jug. That's been talked to death.
They don't play for the Golden UFO out in New Mexico?
They don't play for the Golden UFO out in New Mexico.
Wazoo and Boise State have got to get something going.
So I just found a team that's got a tradition, and they're playing at home. Not a big rivalry here, but this team is playing at home. And I thought I would try to educate fans if you watch this game. Now, Dunaway told you earlier, this is the vampire game.
Oh, no, BYU
is at Baylor. And when you see the start of a Baylor game, they show this all the time on Fox. You love this part?
I do.
It's called the Baylor Line. Baylor Line.
So collegiate.
It is collegiate. It is a spirit tradition organization. They're all incoming students, entirely incoming students.
A lot of dudes.
Started in 1970. And they run out on the field before the game, and they create a tunnel for the Baylor team to run. It's very high school, like the victory line. You had the victory line in high school.
Right? That is a beautiful setting, though.
Oh, yeah, that's a cool little stadium. I've been to that stadium before. Alumni, fans, they run onto the field, create the enormous human tunnel following the students there. The line then takes their seats in a great section right behind the visitors' bench. So they get to harass the visitors. I think that's against policy in the SEC, not the Big 12, though.
When you say incoming students, do you mean they're all freshmen?
Incoming, maybe not, but they're all first-year students, maybe not freshmen. And they all have a jersey that has their graduation year as the number on the jersey.
I talked to our man Mosley because I do his show from Waco on Fridays, and I asked him about the bear pounding out the Dr. Pepper, and he said, PETA, stop that.
PETA shut that one down? Well, they can't shut down the Baylor line,
I think that's a great tradition. Hand the bear of Dr. Pepper and let him roll.
Forrester, if you can give me that again. I've described this, Brown, as to the Tiger Walk. This is like the Audi of a Tiger Walk. If you get to this, when you talk belly buttons, when you get to this, the Tiger Walk leads you into the stadium. But for Baylor, they sort of do this Baylor, whatever you call it. What's the tradition again? What's it called?
It's the Baylor line.
The Baylor line. There's a shot coming up here in a second where they're basically walking onto the field through that, and it looks like a Tiger Walk, but you're actually inside the stadium.
Yeah.
It has a very Tiger Walk feel to it.
Be the bear crawl.
Yeah, it's absolutely a good tradition.
That's
I like
cool
it.
tradition. It's very collegiate.
Because they run on to get to their spot,
They run on,
right?
and then they run back to their seats. That's what you're talking about right there.
Yeah.
They run back to their seats right behind the visitor bench. McLean Stadium, when you're coming in on I-35 north of Waco, it's the first thing you see.
Tallest thing in Waco, isn't it?
I mean, one of them, there's one building that's taller, but it dominates like the skyline. Not that there's a skyline in Waco, but it's the first thing you see on the interstate. You see it from, Texas is very flat, as you know, Lance. You see it from a long way away. It's a cool looking little stadium.
When A&M and Baylor used to play, did they play It's Raining Men?
A lot heavy male population of those schools.
I really, really don't like watching games there on TV, though. I may be great in person. I don't like TV games.
I remember the last game I was really focused on was 2 years ago when they blew the game against TCU.
Yep,
absolutely. Great tradition from Brownie, brought to you by our friends at McCurry Van and Car Rental.
McCurryRentals.com. That is McCurryRentals.com. As Brandon points out in the MyBookie.ag chat room, this is Baptists versus Mormons coming up this week.
Wow.
Baylor versus BYU.
For all the cookies.
For all the non-caffeinated or alcoholic drinks.
Yeah. One gives its caffeine to its mascot. The other doesn't drink caffeine.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll see who's soaking in the wazoo. What's the river's name out there?
The Brazos.
The Brazos.
Not the wazoo.
I see the verb you use there.
Yeah.
Soaking.
You got the headlines tomorrow. It's all lined up for us. All right. Part of the show being brought to you by our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa. Speaking of soaking, get a nice little relaxing spa day at Woodhouse.
Get and see Stuart and the incredible staff up there. The Woodhouse Day Spa, located at the Summit Shopping Center's beautiful location, but you can always order that special person gift online 24/7. Think about it. You're going to be sitting back watching football all day. Send the wife or girlfriend to the Woodhouse Day Spa. She can choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Shop online 24/7, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Gift card, simple solution. Buy them online. Voted America's best day spa since 2009. It is the Woodhouse Day Spa.
Connor writes this in. He DMs me this information, and I'm going to trust him. I did not do the research on this. I don't even know how to start. But he tells me he's an Oklahoma fan that listens to the show who lives now in Huntsville. He says Michael Hawkins Jr. is one of only a handful of true freshmen ever to start for Oklahoma. There's only been 3 others. Listen to these names.
Yeah, I know one won a national championship in '85.
Caleb Williams, Troy Aikman, and Jamil Holloway.
That's a pretty good group.
And Michael Hawkins Jr.
Well, think about Troy Aikman ended up starting and then left because Jamil Holloway was that good and he transferred to UCLA.
Well, Aikman didn't want to run the triple option either.
That was part of it.
Michael Hawkins Jr., the guy that's starting for Oklahoma at Auburn this weekend, Caleb Williams, Troy Aikman, and Jamil Holloway.
I will tell you, I did not see this quarterback change coming. You could have told me of a few quarterback changes that might happen in the SEC.
We could give you 10 in the nation. You wouldn't have picked this one, right?
And look, and I bought into it, but a lot of people bought into the OU hype on how good Jackson Arnold was going to be.
Yeah, cut number 1, Tyler, Brent Venables talking about that change at quarterback and just how tough of a decision it was. It did not seem like a tough decision for Hugh to go from Peyton to Hank. Would imagine it a little easier to go back to Peyton after the way it ended up going this last game. So how tough was it for the sun-kissed Brent Venables out in Norman, Oklahoma? Listen in.
We got to get better, and I know, again, that everybody knows that. We're not playing very well right now on offense, and, we've got to do a good job of putting our players in position. It's us, it's we, it's ours, and it's no finger pointing. We got to do a better job. It always starts with us as coaches. Now, maybe this will give us a better chance, moving forward. Believing Mike made that announcement for lots of reasons. Certainly didn't want a decision like that to hang over anyone's head, and we got to get better. And sometimes, maybe change is good. And as I expressed to Jackson, this is a moment. Jackson's going to have an amazing future and career. He's going to play this game a long time, and all of that will work itself out in due time, and that might be, pulling the trigger even on Saturday night. We know how the game of football is sometimes. So he's got to stay ready, and he understands, where he has fallen short in his responsibility. But anything that he puts on tape, to me, starts with us.
Okay, three things. One, he says we need to get better a lot. Number two, he said maybe a couple of times, which doesn't make me feel like my leader is confident in this change.
Maybe this change will help.
Yeah, and the third one is LT's all over this. I think the discussion's already happened. Jackson Arnold and his family have already started discussing. We do not want to go past another. It's going to cost us a year in eligibility. He's already talking about Jackson Arnold is going to play this game a long time. All that stuff's going to shake itself out. He's setting the table for what you've been saying all week.
Well, look, you talk about quarterback purgatory in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence right now with what you've got Jacksonville, that's one of those situations.
Yep.
But if you are a fan of Oklahoma or Auburn or name another team where you're in September and you're still trying to figure out who your quarterback is, that's a big problem. But I do believe, because he is 4 games in, that Jackson Arnold, and look, he might be just an incredible quarterback that's in a bad system right now, but I'm sure he believes himself he's the best quarterback in the nation. And he's not playing, so I think he probably will end up tapping out.
If he was trying to do that, though, he fell way short of getting a vote of confidence to Hawkins. Maybe it's a better fit. Yeah. He even said in there, hey, there's a chance we're going to see him Saturday night. The Jackson Arnold back in the game. I mean, he essentially said in that press conference,
he's got to stay ready. Yep.
He's got to stay ready. There's a pretty good chance we get to see him again. So, I'm like, my gosh, it's Hawkins. He's making his first start.
There is a chance that we could see 4 quarterbacks in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It could be 5. There's the chance that you could see Brent Venables walk over to Jackson Arnold and says, okay, you're in. And he goes, Nope.
Sorry, boss.
Not going to play another one, my man. Lanya's Furniture up the road here. A great place to get your furniture. Top of the hour when we come back, Dan Orlovsky talks NFL starting tonight with a must-win game for the Cowboys. Lanya's Furniture. When you want to win in the furniture business, this is where you go, guys.
Well, here's the thing. With furniture, it comes down to 2 things for me. It's selection, it's pricing, and our friends at Lanya's Furniture, they've got the best of both worlds. Our friends at Lanya's Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Lanya's offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, entertainment, including that man cave. Great selection of mattresses. If you're looking for that special piece that you need to add to that entertainment room, maybe it's the Lazy Boy Flex Steel Recliner. Maybe it's one of those great sectionals. Make sure you stop in, see Reggie John. Tell him the next round sent you. Take that short drive from Birmingham. Exit 280 off of I-65, the Hallmark Farms exit. Go south on U.S. Highway 31 for 1.3 miles. Lanya's will be right there on your right. 205-647-4311. And make sure you tell them the guys from the next round sent you.
And our friends at NASCAR getting ready to roll back into Talladega. How many people are heading over to Talladega for this fall race on October the 6th? The weather always is perfect. Temperature rise for this fall race, and it's a playoff race. You can get your tickets at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com, or 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Don't forget to upgrade your ticket. Get that Cool Ray garage experience there. Get down in the garage, and you'll see some of the top drivers and the top crews working to get ready for the big races this weekend. It's all right there, including the Jake Owen concert. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
The 2024 Yellowwood 500 weekend is coming back to Talladega Superspeedway Friday, October 4th through Sunday, October 6th. Reserve your spot today by visiting TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Enhance your weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience presented by Cool-Raid, the most immersive garage experience in NASCAR. Reserve your seat, your spot in the infield, or your camping site for the Yellowwood 500 weekend Friday, October 4th through Sunday, October 6th. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
Bright Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
From the creators of The Next Round comes two new sites, covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. Two team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. Covercrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Ryan Brown here for The Next Round. Join me and CBS sports analyst Brandon Marcello for the Middle 8 each Monday at 8 a.m. as we look back at the weekend of college football from the SEC to the top 25 of the college football playoff. It's the Middle 8 presented by MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Our friends at Milo's Hamburger invites you to join them in the fight against hunger in our local communities by bringing non-perishable food items to your local Milo's, including canned goods. When you donate a canned good or any non-perishable food item, Milo's will give you a free drink. Together, we can make a difference.
Back with you on The Next Round, show being brought to you in part today by Dr. B. Tell us about Dr. B, and then we'll get to our man, Dan Orlovsky.
I actually did the non-invasive treatment last night before trivia on the couch, 30 minutes each time.
So thick, I can tell, man.
It has gotten a lot thicker than it was. And again, it's one of those things that I never really worried about. Never thought that I would thin out and never noticed it until we started doing what we're doing here. But anyway, Dr. B is the man you need to call. Schedule the consultation today. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training in genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call today. Schedule the consultation, 205-319-0316. Tell them The Next Round sent you. For more information, t3hair.net.
Dallas burns tonight if they lose this game. They just burn the whole city down if they lose this game.
No way.
You don't think so? No.
Well, these guys won't be talking about it tomorrow. I guarantee you that.
Orlovsky loves talking Cowboys football. He's with us now, courtesy of MyBookie.ag. What's up, Dan? How are you today?
I'm doing great. I do not love talking Cowboys football. I do it far too often for my health.
No, I thought it was interesting, and I know you're going based on what you have seen this year. But if I would have told people going into week 4 that Dan Orlovsky was going to do his top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and included in that list would be Geno Smith, Kyler Murray, Sam Darnold, and even Aaron Rodgers, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of credit to those guys, and certainly their situations. Probably, the Sam Darnold one that stands out is the one that you're going, oh my gosh, this guy went from, in many people's eyes, a bust to now he's an MVP candidate and playing at such a high level. Kyler Murray has been a resurgence in many ways, and I just hope that continues to trend up for the type of player that he's shown to be the first 3 weeks. Geno's been really good for 2 or 3 seasons now. We just don't talk about him, unfortunately. I guess the doubt on Rodgers, I understand it. I don't think it was ludicrous, but he's reminded people with a ball in his hands, he is as good as really anybody that we've ever seen making some throws. And then Josh just playing at a level that no one else is close to right now.
Doug Peterson promises change after the Jaguars lost this past weekend. Does that mean Mac Jones in for a $245 million Trevor Lawrence or no?
No, I don't think so. It's such a difficult conversation to even contemplate because you just paid Trevor, and Trevor's had moments where you sit there and go, man, that's the guy. That's the number 1 pick. And I feel Trevor is stuck right now. I think it's 2 things. Trevor is stuck right now mentally, it looks, where he's trying to prove every play. I'm the number 1 pick, trying to prove every play I was worth the contract. And, I am one of those guys. And he's almost hitting the home run or trying to every play. Now, the downside is it also looks like the plays that they're calling are trying to score a touchdown every play. And there's very, in their words, they want more breather plays. It just doesn't look like the breather plays are there right now. And it's that really bad perfect storm combination of both it feels the scheme and the player chasing on a constant basis. I can't imagine that that's even a thought process in Jacksonville.
So you say Trevor Lawrence is not broken because that's the narrative here. Trevor Lawrence is broken.
I don't. Broken is probably a little strong for me. Okay. I do think mentally he's in a really bad place. I do think mentally he is very much so consumed with the result rather than just trying to operate good plays and playing at a high level. So broken is the connotation is like meaning, dude, like, I don't know if we're going to get this fixed. I don't think Trevor is unfixable, but I do believe that there is stuff that needs to get fixed. Yeah.
Dan Orlovsky with us. MyBookie.ag brings you Dan each week. Code NEXTROUND when you sign on to MyBookie.ag. They will double that initial deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Can you explain to me Cincinnati being 0-3? This does not compute to me. I just don't understand how they're 0-3.
Yeah, a little bit is the margin in the NFL. They're 3 plays away from being 3-0.
I know.
First game of the year, a touchdown gets called back, and then the next play is a fumble in the red zone. They get that, they win. They didn't play good. And then week 2, a pass interference. And then week 3, a perfect throw from Jaden Daniels. So, quite literally 3 plays, but you're 0-3. Now, I think they're better than that. The downside to them is there's the only thing they can hang their hat on is Joe in the pass game. That's the only thing. They can't run the ball. They don't run the football. Their offensive line's not pass protecting at an incredibly high rate. They can't stop the run. They don't tackle well. They can't defend the pass. So, that's the concern for the overall football team. They lose this weekend, man. You're sitting at 0-4. Your season is done. You're not getting in, especially in that conference and that division. And that's when you start having the conversation. At least, I said today, if they go 0-4, it's worthy of sitting down and going, which one of those receivers do they entertain trying to trade and recoup some value for?
There is not a better example of the NFL than 2 weeks ago. The Raiders are down double digits in Baltimore. They win the game. They come back and host a Carolina team that has not even been competitive, that benches their quarterback, and Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, goes out and just lays it down. Explain to us, because I know we ask you probably more about Bryce Young than any of our guests, but this just doesn't look good. I think you believe Bryce is still there. I believe there's still a lot of meat on the bone for Bryce. But for Andy Dalton to go in and play like he did on the road and for them to run the Raiders off their own field, what happened there?
Yeah, Andy was way more convicted with the football and aggressive with the football, and he got it out and was aggressive with it downfield. Found Thielen, found Deontay. Like, I think the best way that I try to describe it in my mind is if you guys, we've all been in a swimming pool or something like that, and we've done the how long can you hold your breath for thing, and at some point you try to even know you can't, you can't, and all of a sudden you get engulfed with water, and then you're choking essentially. Look for Bryce playing, you're getting to the point where it's almost like you're watching him choke himself underwater. And then Andy's the version of comes up for air. And you're like, man, that's a breath of fresh air. You just saved my life type of thing. And so that's what it was like watching. It was just this breath of fresh air from Andy Dalton. So it's not a good look for Bryce. No. But it is the very clean example of Andy's got so much more experience and he's so much more fundamentally and mechanically sound. And the confidence that comes from that is so impactful. That's why you saw that performance.
Cocktails just delivered to us from the wharf here locally. We'll tell you more about those.
What do you got?
I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, Carly, what do we have?
What do we have here?
Can you just
Dan
yell
wants
to
to know
us?
what we got.
Do you know what we've...
It's something.
Electric lemonade.
Electric lemonade.
Ooh, electric lemonade, my thing.
Oh, is it? Dan Orlovsky loves electric lemonade. Yeah. So there you go.
I would imagine that's a lemonade and vodka. Or
is that lemonade and vodka? Electric lemonade?
Yeah. Heavy nods.
Yeah. Red Mont vodka. Okay.
Charles Barkley's vodka. How about that?
Right there. So that gets me to my. That gets me down to Miami. I'm not a Miami fan, but my buddy Brown is. Why would you not go quarterback since we've got these tropical beach drinks down at South Beach? Why do we not? We got a great roster. Why do we not try to get a quarterback?
Yeah.
Why don't we not go Ryan Tannehill?
Yeah, my guess, okay, this is total assumption by me. We have them on Monday Night Football. We haven't talked to them yet. Total guess is they know Tua is going to come back and play.
Okay.
That would be the only thing in my mind that would make sense, because if you just watch this offense try and operate, you're like, my goodness. And in one way, it makes you appreciate the value of Tua. I'm not telling everybody Tua is the best player in the NFL, but he operates this offense at an incredibly high and crisp level. And I've tried to tell folks, like, you're not just plugging and playing anybody in there and doing it the same way. But if you just watch it try and operate, it's painful. It's tough. And so to not do something at the position and feel like you're getting an upgrade in some capacity, whether it's talent or potential or experience to what you have now, makes me think that they believe after the IR stint is up that Tua, yes, will be playing again.
I have got a group of Titans fans here in Birmingham that are coming over to the house to watch the Monday night game. Are you on that one? Which one are you on Monday night?
Yeah. We have the Tennessee Miami one. Yep.
Yeah. So they're coming to my house to watch the game with me.
Awesome.
Listen, I know you guys would do it, sign up in a heartbeat, but I love 2 Monday night games.
Oh, I do too.
It's a great setup. It's a great setup.
Well, I told my boys nobody can be happy with their quarterback situation. We'll be starting Tim Boyle, and they'll be starting their starter. That's the problem in that game. That's not a great quarterback game.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch Tennessee, because if you're just being honest and remove the record and you watch their tape, you go, man, this skill group in Tennessee is really good. Those 3 receivers are really good players, and I like their 2 tight ends, and Pollard looks good. And the offensive line's not remarkable, but there's some good moments. And then, when if Will Levis gets a call in his helmet and he gets the line of scrimmage, and it's what they're expecting the defense to do via tape or drawing, it is good looking, man. Like, it is pretty. But then when the defense does something different or changes the picture and makes him get to a number 2, it's not all that dissimilar to Trevor, where you're like, dude, subtly move and throw the ball calmly to that guy. If they can get him there, you got something, but they've got to find that out of him.
Much like your top 5 quarterback list, I didn't think I would say this out loud, but I said it on Monday. The best team in the NFC and maybe in the NFL, I mean, maybe it's Buffalo, but the Minnesota Vikings. And I know Sam Darnold's going to get all the love, but back to Browns Dolphins, I know that the Tua Brian Flores experiment didn't work out, but Brian Flores with this defense, giving up 10 points per game, and you look at how they have dominated their opponents. Sam Darnold on that offense, that's been a great story under Kevin O'Connell, but what Brian Flores' defense has done, I think, has been really the statement with this team.
Yeah, it's the best coached team in football, when it comes to Kevin O'Connell, the offense, and Flores in the defense. Do you guys remember the Monday night game probably 5 years ago now when Sam Darnold was playing with the Jets, had that awful moment, and he said, I feel like I'm seeing ghosts.
Yep.
That was Flores. That's the funny thing. That was Brian Flores in the defense. And I feel like he's making a lot of quarterbacks do that. Really good quarterbacks just chase things that aren't there, or feel things that aren't there. And, they're playing at an incredibly high clip. And the reality is this, dude, you better be good on first down versus that defense. If not, dude, you are in for a brutal 3 hours.
So my Rams head to Chicago to take on the underwhelming Bears, sitting at 1-2, their only win over those Tennessee Titans. Caleb Williams. I know Jaden Daniels has been fantastic. Different system, different situation, much like we saw last year with C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. I don't know if it gets that bad. Do you like the way Caleb's being used right now?
No, I don't love the offense, and I know Shane Waldron, their offensive coordinator, and I'm sure there's an element of he's trying to figure out kind of who Caleb is, who's this offense together, all that. They got to get Keenan Allen back healthy. I think I don't love a ton of the pass concepts. There's a little bit of a gimmick element to them at times for me, like college gimmicky. I don't love that. I think, too, Caleb's learning, like, you only get one hitch to every guy in this league. Like, you can't double hitch to guys in this league consistently. Defenses are just too good. So he's learning that. I think they got to get comfortable just throwing the ball to Rome at times, Rome Odunze. I don't think Rome is going to be this guy that separates a ton, but the body control warrants some of the throws. So that's got to be a little bit of a bigger part. Their offensive line's got to play better as well. So it's not just a singular issue. There's probably 4 or 5 that really got to improve.
All right, see Dan Monday night when the Dolphins reestablish their dominance in the Tim Boyle era. Is that who you think is going to start as Tim Boyle? Is that who you're preparing to see?
I'm really hoping that Schefter breaks news that they trade for like Bryce Young or something. So
me and you both.
Yeah, I candidly, you're preparing for both. There's not a ton of film on both Skyler and Tim Boyle, Tyler Huntley. So
yeah,
it's I guess not even more than a coin flip.
All right, that's a sales job.
It's a meaningful American football game.
You get to see Will Levis against a coin flip quarterback for the Dolphins.
Legitimate question, though. If that game Sunday night was in Arrowhead, and that's Mahomes to Kelsey on that third down, the next to last possession, how many times is that called a pass interference out of 100?
100.
Yeah.
I'd also say this. Mahomes is going to throw the ball up high, so Travis makes the throw. I would say that Kirk just missed it low twice.
Interesting.
Tough loss.
That was a tough one. Dan, thank you very much. Have a great week.
Thanks, guys. You too.
All right, buddy. We'll see you. Dan Orlovsky with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. He's presented each week by MyBookie.ag. Code next round. Code next round when you sign in. Make that initial deposit. They will double it right there at MyBookie.ag when you use code next round. This is like on game day. Come on in when they bring the food. I love that segment on game day. This is from the Wharf. We got lunch. We got lunch.
Oh, yes. Just to remind you, Wharf Casual Seafood, fast casual restaurant, serving American-caught seafood. Locations, Montgomery, Dothan, Alexander City. Now Moody, Leeds. Great daily drink specials, of course. The seafood platters, po' boys, salads, burgers, and much more. What do we have here?
Yeah, get on Brown's microphone over there. And
it's a lot of cheese on this burger, I will tell you that.
Yes, sir. That's the way you want it.
Tell Brown what we have.
So this
Get on that microphone there.
There you go. It's going to be our cheddar burger right here. Side of coleslaw and our hush puppies. Just on this one, we got some different sides. Our side salad, more coleslaw, hush puppies. Right over there, you've actually got our loaded blackened chicken in front of you.
Yes.
Got the feta cheese, the ranch, the Wharf sauce, all that fun stuff. And then you've got our grilled bacon wrapped shrimp right there. With
bacon wrapped shrimp.
What is this right here? This side right here?
It's like a loaded mashed cheese grits.
Okay. Yeah, cheese grits.
Yeah.
And are these the hush puppies?
Yes, sir.
Oh, love a hush puppy.
This last one right here is going to be our Key West pink shrimp messy style. And we do a red bag in the restaurant that you can add like corn and sausage and potatoes and all that.
Yeah, if you like a shrimp boil inside the Wharf, they've got the red bag menu, and you can basically it's a shrimp boil.
You know what it smells like in
table.
here? It smells like the beach.
It does.
Do I have to?
I absolutely love
I don't have to share this plate though with anybody
no,
else.
You
right?
got it.
Okay.
You got it. I really just want these hush puppies.
Yeah, I do too.
They're amazing too.
I love a good hush puppy.
They're so good. Yeah,
I mean, they're football shaped.
Oh, you're talking with your mouth full. Don't smack too.
And they're football shaped.
They are football shaped hush puppies.
And Trudy is bringing
my word
shark attacks. Shark attacks.
I mean,
what
are you
is it,
trying
a
to do
shark
to us,
attack? Here,
Trudy?
will you tell us real quick?
Yeah. Apparently everything.
Oh, you're going to give LT the one with the actual shark.
Yeah, the actual shark. He loves him some sharks.
By the way, I can tell you what kind of shark this is, by the way.
It's a great white.
No, I think it's almost a hybrid between a mako and a blue shark, but I think it's more mako.
Yeah, don't
the
mess.
drink has Malibu rum. It has blue carousel, grenadine, and pineapple juice. So.
Wow. Well, I guess we're getting loaded on Thursday.
The girls in the back know I can't mix my liquor. So is this one vodka?
But that's liquor. You can.
Is that vodka?
Clear, so you should be fine. Yes.
Both are clear. Okay.
He's going to ask you for a tampon next.
Because don't laugh at that. Don't encourage him. Hey, should I just give that one to Little T? Are we serving Little T in there? Little T,
she probably wants
you want my
one.
rum drink? I got 2 drinks. You want one? Yeah, take that one to her. Yeah.
Little T ain't going to turn down a cocktail.
Yeah. Tell her what it is. It's from the Wharf, casual seafood all over the great state of Alabama.
Great place. I mean, locations, as I mentioned, Montgomery, Dothan, Alexander City, the newest location, Moody, Leeds. Brown had his family out there a couple of weeks ago for a Sunday lunch. You're going to love it. For more information, to check out the menu and to see the location nearest you, wharfcasualseafood.com.
All right, Brown, try not to talk with my mouth full.
Please don't. I don't think anybody wants to hear that.
Well, I know. We're trying to enhance the experience like you're here eating with us.
You're going to feed Lance a piece of meat like McAfee fed Saban?
No.
That was amazing. Saban just rips it off in his mouth.
I just keep waiting for you guys to come take me off back to the bus and then bring me back at the end for the headgear.
You'll be back for the picks.
Yeah, I can taste that rum on that shark attack.
They have yet to announce guest picker for Saturday, right? That has always been the complication.
Channing Tatum.
Well, I think he's done it, hasn't he?
Nope.
Has he done it in Tuscaloosa?
I think he has, but he's supposedly coming to the game. There had been some suggestion of letting it be Terry Saban.
I think that would be fairly entertaining.
And then you have Terry Saban picking against Nick Saban.
Yeah, I think that would be kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, it would be. I'd rather see Channing Tatum.
I mean, the guest picker doesn't normally do it for me. Normally, the guest pickers, they don't know anything about football, first of all.
I'd rather them not even pick. Just do a little quick interview or something.
It's such a crowded set when they get the guest picker on there, and Corso's there.
I tune in for the picks. I want the picks.
No, I love the picks. I'm just saying the guest picker is my least favorite part of the picks.
Wait, what do you do with the picks? You don't do anything with it?
No, I enjoy it.
I enjoy
think
watching people pick games. I enjoy listening to people pick games.
No,
that's what we do on this platform every day. I enjoy that.
Okay,
it's entertaining.
Tune into the Lance's Log Pod.
I listen all the time.
It's entertaining, and I love the way McAfee does the bait and switch every week, and the crowd never figures out he's doing it to him.
Oh, they do, too.
Every
They're
single
playing
week.
wrestling.
Hey, feel the teeth on that thing.
McAfee is fantastic on it, and Saban has been really good on it. Those are some sharp teeth. Actually, Saban.
It's actually got some teeth. They've got some good weight to this little shark.
Realistic. Do we keep it? If I order that drink,
if you drink the whole thing, you get to keep it.
Yeah.
All right, a couple more things before we tell you about some more of our great sponsors. Trash coming up here momentarily. If I asked you guys the biggest mood swing teams this past weekend, one of them has to be Clemson, right? That all of a sudden their mood since that loss to Georgia has swung back in a really good direction. Mood swing up, Clemson. Positive mood swing?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be. And then you look at the rest of the conference around you.
And I do think Dabo will feel much better if Georgia beats Alabama on Saturday night.
And you look at the rest of the conference around you, Lance, who scares you if you're a Clemson fan or a Clemson coach? Miami, who they wouldn't play until the championship game. I mean, there's nothing else in that conference I look at and I'm like, oh, crap, I got to face fill in the blank. I mean, what scares you in the ACC?
USC's a swing down.
They're swing down. Their mood dropped tremendously.
Well, they gave up 3 40-plus yard runs knowing that Khalil Mullins and Alex Orji were just going to run the football. They couldn't throw it. And to give up those runs, that is more than any Big Ten has given up the entire season. And they gave up 3. And, again, I think the defense is much improved, but you just can't go in knowing a team's that one-dimensional. So I think big swing there. I think both Oklahoma and Auburn are coming off big emotional swings in the wrong way.
Yeah, you're in solitary suicide watch confinement if you're a North Carolina fan right now, but I don't know what your expectation was.
And I forgot who it was. I think it was Klatt that he said that there is going to be a narrative coming out of this game, a positive side, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you've got something positive just because somebody's got to win this game, right?
The Oklahoma-Auburn game.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, Auburn fans are going to feel different on Sunday if they're 3-2. Right? it's going to feel like you've done something.
Yeah,
you beat the Oklahoma brand.
I mean, you beat Oklahoma. A lot of it depends on how it looks, too. Like, if Oklahoma goes out and turns it over 6 times and you still suck on offense,
but I don't
know how good you're going to feel.
I don't understand why Oklahoma is so down. They lost to a great team.
Well, because they had to change quarterback, and their offense is awful.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had to change quarterback.
If they wanted to score, they did.
It was a choice the coach made there. Where are we on this Louisville team as they go to play Notre Dame? People were high on them as an ACC contender, possibly as a dark horse. That score, that game was closer than that score. And I know they still covered, and I know the old saying, good teams win, great teams cover. But that was a crazy little cover for Louisville. I'm still not sold on this Louisville team. Feeling good coming out of Georgia Tech.
Well, it's a big game for a couple of reasons. If Louisville does win this game on the road, then they are going to be considered. It's going to be a separation of Clemson, Miami, and Louisville. Those are going to be your 3 teams everybody's talking about in the SEC. And on the other side, if Notre Dame loses this game, they're done. It was just a couple of weeks ago, you were like, Notre Dame coming off the A&M win, you can almost pencil them in the college football playoff.
But aren't they done after NIU? We're still going to keep them in the race, even if they keep winning games like this?
They go 11-1, but I don't think they can absorb a second loss.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. I mean, 11-1, I think is bare minimum for them.
Are you guys surprised that we're talking -18 at mybookie.ag on Penn State, Illinois? Are you surprised at how big that number is?
Yeah, it's a really big number.
Because Luke Altmaier has looked that good at quarterback for them, and that's been, Bielema plays great defense. That's what surprises me.
And these are the games, top 25 games, that trip up James Franklin. I mean, his record in top 10 games is awful. It's not great either in top 25. I think it's something like 12-26. Now, most of those losses come from top 10 teams.
Yeah.
But still, these are the types of games that can trip him up.
LT, that block eye logo would have been so easy for me to draw on Tuesday for Upset Alert. I don't know why I didn't go there just to get inside the number, because Drew Aller, against a good defense, he doesn't have a great track record, and here we are with that great. He's looked great so far, and they covered for you last week at 48.5.
I think it is really interesting because coming off the 718 total yards against Kent State, who was absolutely awful.
Horrible.
Luke Altmaier, the 3rd Big Ten quarterback in history. I forgot how many the passing touchdowns were, but 0 interceptions through a team's first 4 games of the season. Since 2004, the only other quarterbacks, Justin Fields and Kyle Orton.
Those are
Purdue.
good guys.
Yeah, really good players.
This Illinois defense is holding opponents 2 touchdowns below their scoring average. Everything says Illinois plus the points. I'm just, realistically, this number should have been like 9.5.
Yeah. And I'm just looking for a cover. I should have played Illinois in the old Upset Alert. That would have been good.
Hindsight's 50-50.
This hour always brought to you by our friends at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Swing by there as well for a great lunch today. Champy's Chicken. You can go by there and pick them up. Highway 119 in Alabaster. Perfect for your tailgating and everything on the road there. Sterling and the folks taking care of you every day, special occasions, or just a normal business work day. He's been there for over a decade, delivering great food. Champy'sChicken.com. Sterling and the crew, that great Southern fried chicken, brined overnight, cooked to order. And again, take it to Bryant Denny and also over to Jordan Hare this weekend. And the show also brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. If you're getting out grilling this weekend, stop off at New York Butcher.
Yeah, little man's coming over to spend the night tonight. Then we're going to do smash burgers, and we're going to do it from the New York Butcher Shop, so that'll be 3 times in 4 days. The food is that good. Fresh meat, specialty items, deli sandwiches, prepared foods, great wines, desserts, one-stop dinner shop, rear quality, well-done service, New York Butcher Shop.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Hey, this is Matt Roth, the franchisee of Walk On Sports Bistro in Birmingham. With the kickoff of football season, come visit us at one of our 3 locations, Stadium Trace, Greystone, or Trussville. Come enjoy our scratch kitchen menu while watching one of our 80 TVs. Whether you're looking for a pre- or post-game celebration, game day, or date night, we've got you covered. It's all about the win at Walk On Sports Bistro. Walk On, where everybody needs a little playing time.
Hey, you. Feel that? That's fall in the air. And New Balance Birmingham got your fresh fall pair. To kick it during game time and sport from the sideline. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1, find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2, stream it now. Miss Hour 3, download it for later. Miss Hour 4, well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Back with you on the next round. Portia was telling me earlier today that they moved up his daughter's high school football game to 4 o'clock this afternoon. So Auburn High and Moody High over at Moody at 4 o'clock this afternoon. So we're squeezing them in today. Is tomorrow not a perfect weather day?
Well, there's an update to that.
Okay.
It's now been canceled.
Oh, canceled today.
Game off.
So not even going to play tomorrow night?
Nope. No game.
But isn't tomorrow's forecast supposed? I know it is Saturday's great weather. Great weather on Saturday. I can't wait to see the forecast. Champy's Chicken bringing you that weather on the floors here today. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. If you want to swing by there, they bring you this show every day this hour. It's the Champy's Hour. Sterling and the crew down there to get you ready for the weekend. But the thing I want to remind you, that if you're eating lunch just on a normal work day, this is the place to go. If you're in the Alabaster area, just off I-65, Highway 119, champyschicken.com, champyschicken.com, brined overnight fried chicken, hand-cut chicken finger, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more. It's champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. What was the question last night at Odie's with trivia?
Which came first, Will Smith or the Capri Sun?
Capri Sun, I think, is one of those great inventions that came off of our pursuit of the moon.
Anything in a pouch, you say that about.
Anything in a pouch or Velcro, pins that ride upside down, all that came from NASA and our race to the moon. So I'm going to say we came up with the pouch and the drink in 1966. And I'm going to say Will Smith was slightly after that. I'm going to say the Capri Sun?
I am going to go Will Smith first.
Will Smith celebrated a birthday yesterday. We talked about it on the show. He's 56, born in 1968. The Capri Sun rolled out in 1969.
Oh,
so Will Smith barely. The little facts you learn at Odie's Team Trivia. We do that every Wednesday night. The original location. 2 locations for you. The newest location you've got right there in Edgewood. Stop in, see Will Haver and that incredible staff. Get there for lunch or dinner. Live music every Friday and Saturday night. Great place to sit on the patio with ice cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Odie's Tavern, Birmingham Institution, Crestline, and now Edgewood.
Tyler, if you can turn yours and Forrester's mic back on.
Did Tyler get him a cocktail?
He did. That's what I was about to say.
You got a Moscow Mule.
I didn't know Tyler drank.
A Moscow Mule.
I'm not sure I knew Tyler drank either.
Oh, I've seen him at a Christmas party once.
What are you saying? He get a little loose?
Well, it was at our Christmas party. The one we did, what was that place called? The Wine?
Freddie's Wine Bar.
Yeah, Freddie's Wine Bar.
Yeah. I knew Forrester occasionally would have a beer, I think, at that same Christmas party. Forrester, what do you have on the back row?
I have a Moscow Mule.
Damn, ain't Trudy was slanging drinks.
Forster's had a morning. I'll let him
I
have
told
a
her
Mule.
she's got a heavy hand, too.
It's been a day.
Can you tell she's got a heavy hand?
Yeah, she does, a little bit.
I walked into Taylor. I said, "Do you need to know what this is?" And she's like, "No, I don't care." Taylor was like, "No, I don't care.
You ought to work with us every day. Yeah. Drive you to drink."
She's pumping out content.
Oh, this is pretty awesome when you got the fresh fruit in it. I mean, I got blueberries swimming in the bottom of mine. You got strawberries over there.
And a little kick on this one. I don't know what this one's called, but it's got a little pepper to it, too.
Yeah. So with 3.5 hours of sleep and then a little cocktail, you're probably going to be ramping to go here in a little bit.
Play video games later. Video games back in the back room. Let's do that. I'm ready to go. All right, one more sports thing before we get to Trash Roman. Well, let's go ahead and get to Trash. Roman Harper coming up in just a second. It's brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. You going to run and get Trash?
I had it. I don't know.
Yeah, you just walked in with it. What'd you do with it? Lance is losing his mind, Jim.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll tell you about storm restoration.
Yeah, do that while Lance finds trash.
If you find yourself in a trash situation with your roof having trouble, maybe a hurricane's blowing through. If you're listening to us over in Georgia, you need to find yourself a Greg from Pell City over in Georgia. You need to find yourself a Greg from Griffin. Griffin is a town in Georgia.
Gotcha.
Yeah, or Greg from Marietta, somebody to get on your roof. But Greg's not going over there. He only works in the central Alabama area. Greg Nelson, Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531. You can look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City. He's A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Storm repairs, roof replacement. He does it all. Plus, you get the opportunity at Storm Restoration Roofing to get that free, no-cost roof inspection. Unbelievable family-owned operation, A-plus rated. You can't beat him. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing. Now, Tyler, hit the big button with Roman Harper on the other side.
I'm here with the winner, Derek Lewis. Derek, why'd you take your pants off?
My balls was hot.
I understand.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
And we are proud to partner with the mortgage experts, which is Mortgage Right. Whether you're looking for your first home or your final home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call that Birmingham office, 205-900-7200. Talk with a mortgage expert right now. MLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Okay, real quick, I got to do this on the show.
Uh-oh, we got a breaking?
No, it's just Roman Harper. They're mass confusion on his schedule so far because of the weather.
So does he need to jump now?
No, he needs to jump tomorrow. We're gonna figure that one out.
I find that more exciting.
Tomorrow?
We get full Roman Harper. I had squeezed this with food and drink and jocularity and laughing.
Well,
we'd have had short Roman Harper. This excites me that Roman's tomorrow.
He's coming to Auburn. They're in Auburn this week. And I don't know if you guys have looked at a radar, but the weather between Charlotte and Auburn, what do you think that's like?
It's a hurricane.
It's a hurricane.
It's a hurricane.
So it has screwed Harper, and he is very apologetic. It has screwed his whole schedule.
I was talking to our friends at the Wharf, and they've got a location in Tallahassee, too. And they were talking about, Tallahassee's only 30 miles inland. And they said Tallahassee is like in a disastrous path right now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
So, yeah, stay safe out there. I still don't know how this kind of scam works all of the time on people. But police in Spain have arrested 5 people accused of scamming 2 women out of $362,000 by pretending to be Brad Pitt.
Well, it looks just like Brad Pitt.
Well, I mean,
that's Brad Pitt, man. It looks just like him.
The picture's real.
Yeah.
The sign's not.
Oh, okay.
So okay, but I'll be honest with you. Is that really Brad Pitt? It's photoshopped, right?
I mean,
the face part's Brad Pitt,
If you
right?
told me it was a Brad Pitt lookalike, I would believe it. If you told me it was Brad Pitt and, I don't know. I mean,
what am I missing here?
It is not Brad Pitt, but
it's 100% Brad Pitt.
In his eyes, that's Brad Pitt, right? That is him, right?
Tyler,
He's photoshopped the face.
The picture is of Brad Pitt, but the message on the sign is fake. It's photoshopped on there to say, like, yes, I am Brad Pitt. I need you to send me money.
Yeah, that's what makes no sense. Like Brad Pitt sending you money, or you need to send Brad Pitt money.
Yeah,
that's what gets me. First of all, celebrities not going to reach out to you. Second of all, they don't need the money.
Yeah, but this is the same people that did like the Bitcoin Facebook crap that's still going on. They take
Is 6 on your side yet?
I did the interview.
Did that air last night?
No, it airs next week. We'll promote it when it comes
let me
on.
know.
But 6 on my side came by to try to save my Facebook page. And they got the FBI involved to find out maybe if it's a local job or not. Because I have some concern it's local. So we're going to find out.
Uh-oh, boy, if we bust somebody locally.
Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Huh. Okay, so
that excites me.
One woman lost $195,000 while another lost $167,000. Now, of that, police managed to recover $95,000. Both victims contacted via a Brad Pitt fan site by fraudsters who managed to convince them the actor wanted them to invest in various projects with him. Now, both women ended up making bank transfers to the person they thought was Pitt until they realized they had been scammed and went to the police. Investigators found that as part of the scam, a network of bank accounts were created using fake identity documents. Mules were also used to help launder money through their own bank accounts in exchange for a small payment.
I just don't understand.
Do you want to deposit or withdraw? Or scratch twice if you want to withdraw. How are the mules being used?
Hey, so you always wonder about like credit card fraud and stuff, and like I don't know.
Hate it.
You don't like credit card fraud?
I'm just saying we should penalize these people more.
Kill them?
But so
if they're foreigners, yes.
I told you with the Aubrey Plaza movie I watched, Emily the Criminal on Netflix.
Not even a full drink, Tyler.
Really, really good movie, but it shows you behind the scenes on how credit card fraud.
Yeah.
Like they get the addresses and the numbers of these credit cards, and then they actually have a hard credit card machine where you actually print out the credit cards, and then they pay people. They come in and they tell them, hey, look, you're about to do something illegal. If you're not comfortable, you can walk right now.
So let me ask you this.
And they take the credit card to a big box store, they buy product, and then they turn around, give the product, and they get paid $200 an hour.
Man, when your phone rings and it is or when you get a call, when your phone rings, such an old phrase. When you get a call,
I typically don't answer if I don't.
I don't answer if I don't have it saved. But what if sometimes the name still pops up? So the other night, I'm sitting at home, I get a call, my bank name, one of the places where I have a bank account, the name pops up. So I answer it, and he's like, "Is this Mr. Brown?" I said, "It is." He says, "We have detected some fraudulent Zelle activity in your Zelle account and he gave a name and a city. He's like, "Is that authorized?" I said, "It absolutely is not authorized." He goes, "Well, I'm going to text you a code. Just read that code back to me." And when he said that, something in my head was like, "This it's not on the up and up." I was like, "Well, how do I know that's not a scam?" He goes, "Well, you'll see that it comes from," and he says the bank name. I said, "No, I don't really trust you." I said, "If I call back, who do I talk to?" He goes, "Just call and ask for the fraud department." I call and ask for the fraud department. They're like, "No, sir, you have got zero activity on your Zelle account. Like the last Zelle was the last one you sent." It was a complete fraud. And I'm telling you, man, it sounded very legit.
That was like one of my Instagram. It was one of my daughter's friends' account has been hacked, and I called her. She called me Mr. Jim their entire time in high school, Mr. Jim, because she would call me Mr. Dunaway. I was like, no, just Jim.
I'm not an
and
old
she would go Mr. Jim. So it was always Mr. Jim, and they wrote back to me in the DM, Mr. Jim, and just
that's
like
what sold you.
And that's what sold me.
It's tough, man, because I'm telling you, that call I got sounded as legit as possible. And just something inside of me was like, don't trust this. Call them back.
I think we are in the golden era of
scamming,
bad air travel. And I don't think airlines really care about their customers anymore.
Yeah, it's gotten bad, Lance.
This is the most ridiculous story I think I've ever heard. Tyler, printing our trash now. Passengers on board a recent American Airlines flight have admitted they have a new fear unlocked after an American Airlines plane they sat on for 9 hours landed at the same airport it took off from. So they leave Dallas. The American Airlines is supposed to go to an international airport in Seoul, South Korea on September 7th. They were in the air for 9 hours total, and when they landed, they were back in Dallas.
Man, this.
Now, new fear unlocked.
Seoul looks awful
Your
lot like that.
flight
Hello,
to Korea.
Hello.
Quote, may go 5 hours and come back with zero explanation, according
Konnichiwa.
to this one passenger. The passenger went on
That's
to say
Japanese.
the airline staff said there was a problem with the toilets, while the pilot reportedly asked if someone was, quote, carrying a screwdriver to help fix the issue. That would be disturbing if
That's
somebody
comforting,
did.
yeah. I got one.
American Airlines, quote, needs a lesson in effective communication, according to this passenger. The flight path showed how the aircraft traveled across the U.S. before heading over parts of the Pacific Ocean when it was forced to head back. Now, increasingly frustrated by the lack of clarity by American Airlines, this one passenger said that she required a, quote, strong drink after this. A viral video then cut to landing in Dallas, with the pilot confirming there were clear skies for landing. Pastor concluded 9 hours later, we're back in Dallas, lost for words. I don't understand this.
Yeah, I mean, how do you not come on and say, hey, we're having to return to Dallas? Like, nobody knew? They just landed and, hey, we're back in Dallas.
Yeah, I told you my scariest flight was when I was going to Cabo, and I had left Denver, and we got halfway to Cabo, and they said, we got to go back. And that was kind of freaky, but they kind of explained the situation.
Which made no sense still, because the situation was you don't know if the landing gear is going to come out. And your point was, it ain't going to come out Denver if it ain't going to come out
It
Cabo.
made a little bit more sense. Like their hub is for that airline, and I forgot who it was. It was American maybe. Big hub in Denver. And if they got to Cabo, then the whole crew would be stranded.
Yeah.
So very selfish for the crew. But
but at least there's a reason.
Yeah, this was the
If I'm going to be
toilets weren't
stranded,
working.
if I'm going to be stranded, I'm going to be stranded in Cabo.
I think the crew would have said, leave us in Cabo. Why don't you buy?
You
know what that was? That was our company does not want to pay them to stay in Cabo.
Well, that's what this report was. A lot of the passengers believed that instead of like going all the way to Dallas, when you're over the Pacific, you could have gone to San Francisco, LAX.
Yeah.
But they said they probably didn't want to pay for all the passengers'
That's
hotel
right.
rooms.
Yeah, they came all the way back to Dallas.
Anegasio, I think is Korean for hello.
Oh, it's not konnichiwa? That was Japanese, Tyler?
That's Japanese.
Yeah, okay.
Anegasio.
What are you eating, Tyler?
Coleslaw.
Okay.
I love me some coleslaw, especially the mayonnaise base like they got there at the wharf. So this might be something that would work. Like we've got the maids that come out, they drive around those yellow cars and they come clean your house. This one is a topless maid. Now, she makes $300 an hour. Her name is Sammy. Sincerest_Sammy took to her TikTok to recap on one of her most traumatic experiences. Now, she goes on to say, not only does she clean homes topless, but
makes
she will
his drinks?
also come to your house, cut your grass topless as well.
Hard
Neighbors
pass
would
on
love
that.
this, right?
Hard pass on that, yes.
Well, maybe you could have sent it to the neighbor across the street and didn't want to cut his grass, right?
Johnny, get away from that window.
No, she makes about $300 an hour, according to her tips. According to her tips are out of this world.
Tips. That's with a P, Jim.
Sammy says that she usually has her bodyguard come with her, but not all the time. She has all types of clients. She says one of her favorites almost died on her, Sammy says, after cleaning his home. She was paid extra to give him a lap dance. However, the 78-year-old grabbed his chest in the middle of the act, beginning to have a heart attack. Since Sammy, girl of many talents here, happens to be CPR certified, she performed CPR and was able to revive the man, calling 911 immediately afterwards. Ambulance arrived quickly and was able to rush the man to a nearby hospital where he's expected to make a full recovery. His next-door neighbor and secret lover tipped Sammy $1,000 for bringing him back to life. I will say she probably will pay for play. Like
you think Sammy might be
cut grass? Like
she might be involved in the world's oldest profession. Is what
I'm
going
to say, if you got the number up to $1,000, it ain't no telling what old Sammy would do.
You're telling me
travel.
You're telling me that she probably would. She'd probably leave UNLV looking for a better NIL deal.
Mate, she probably would drive your golf cart around if you ever have one of these days where you had to play Bent Brook by yourself.
Yeah, that would slow down the guy behind me that's always complaining about my slow speed. That is Trash Today, brought to you by Mortgage Right.
Hey, if you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned home buying veteran, their great service and low rates make the process so easy. Speaking of veterans, veteran founded right here in Birmingham. Make the call today, 205-900-7200 or mortgageright.com.
Okay, getting ready for the big college football weekend coming up. Remember, Alabama's warning fans heading over to Tuscaloosa that there is some counterfeit ticket problems this weekend. They've already been alerted to one or two. If you're buying in the secondary market, you're responsible. You're responsible for that if you buy a fraudulent ticket. That's why we always say use our friends at ATIX. Their tickets are reliable. They've been doing it for a long, long time. If you're buying just from Joe on the street outside, you don't know if that ticket's legit or not. They do have a couple of places set up outside the stadium to check your ticket to see if it's counterfeit. But if it is counterfeit at that point, you're just out of luck. That's why we always say use our friends at ATIX, especially for big games like this. This is when they come out and try to take advantage of you.
If you have never been to a game, and many of you probably have not, some of you have though, where a sitting or former president is in attendance, it is a much more strict security situation. So with President Trump there, I don't know. I think President Obama, I don't think was ever
at an Alabama game.
No, at a national championship game. I don't guess so. Right? It was always President Trump's the only one, but he was president candidate. Yeah. So, I mean, he's been both.
Yeah, Obama was doing brackets and watching Netflix.
No, President Obama probably followed it closer. I mean, he did a pretty good bracket. President Trump is going to be there Saturday, and they're encouraging you to get there at least by 5 o'clock. That's the latest they want you in line to get in. Now, that's an hour and a half before a game.
That's ridiculous.
2017, he was the president when he was there at the Alabama-Georgia National Championship game. 2019, he was president but running.
That's right.
About to run.
So I guess candidate, twice then,
yeah. And now he's the candidate again.
Yeah, so they're telling you it's 5 o'clock. There will be stricter security. If you were at the game Jim's talking about, 17 in Atlanta, did you go in that game or did you stay out?
I stayed because he was there. That's why I stayed.
Disaster.
I stayed at the hotel and watched.
Now, that was a different situation. There's 4 entries into Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Which doesn't make sense.
But why do you do
close
this?
To his arrival,
why do you do this to fans?
Because he's trying to get votes.
Yeah, but why can't you just, he could be on the phone, during the broadcast. I guarantee you they would let him cut in.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Brad writes in to us, and he says, my daughter is a senior at Alabama, and they're telling students they need to arrive at 3:30.
Yeah. They're opening gates early at 4.
That's silly. What you're doing is you're deflecting what is a great college atmosphere.
No, I don't like it. I don't like
about him showing up.
Yeah. And again, this is nothing political.
Yeah. No, it would be. I would say the same if it was President Obama, President Trump, President Biden.
Complete mistake.
But Georgia has become a little bit of a battleground state.
Oh,
and this is he's going to win Alabama. He's here for the Georgia eyeballs.
Well, for the Georgia-Tennessee game. Yeah. I guess that's after.
Yeah, I mean, this was. And he was invited, I read the story, by someone that's in the oil and petroleum business here in the state of Alabama and gave him, he's a member at Mar-a-Lago, the club, and invited him. The point of bringing this up is if you've never been to one of these games, and I even remember one year, I can't remember who Alabama was playing, but I was in Tuscaloosa, and Condoleezza Rice was there when she was Secretary of State, and even that was a fiasco. This will be that times a lot. So pack your patience, get there early, and understand it's going to be tighter security than normal. Anytime you've been to one of these, I think you should know that by now.
Yeah, and it's not homecoming for Alabama, is it?
Could not tell you.
Well, wouldn't schedule Georgia for homecoming.
Yeah, I would say
Kirby would use that, wouldn't he? These bastards.
They think we're going 7-5, and they got us for homecoming.
It'll be a fun weekend though over there, and we're there tomorrow as well to enjoy the fun. The Rabbit Hole, if you just happen to be in the area, if you're already going to be camping out in one of those great Johnson RVs that you have out there, just swing by the Rabbit Hole tomorrow, 12 to 3. We'll be there early. We'll have a cocktail and afterwards with our friends at Adams Beverage, the great Bud Light, the Michelob Ultra, the Stellas, all the great Adams products. We'll have those rolling out for a good time, and you can hang around at the Rabbit Hole all night long. Live music starting at 6 o'clock, a little after we wrap up there, featuring Plato Jones and the Blind River Current all night long with the live music there. It's the Rabbit Hole. Kick off the Georgia and Alabama weekend with us. It's the backyard tour as it's fall now with our friends at Adams Beverage, and we look forward to that coming up tomorrow, being over there. EG will be with us. Taylor will be with us over there, and then the rest of us guys and the back room will be back here doing backroom things, which usually includes pizza from Slice.
We have already talked about a pizza party.
Pizza party.
That's back-to-back days for y'all.
Pizza party, no problems. Yeah, go ahead and get yourself a cocktail, too.
That's right.
Tyler, 2 drinks. No problem at all back there. All right, final thoughts as we get out of here with football happening tonight. Also today, the President's Cup begins. It's every other year, just like the non-Ryder Cup year. It's the Americans against the international team. They're playing this at Royal Montreal. Montreal, by the way, is basically French for Mount Royal. which means they're playing this at Royale Mount Royale.
Very. They just want you to know it's Royal.
Not as crazy as the Los Angeles Angels, where if you translate that is the Angels.
Makes sense.
The Los Angeles Angels.
The
Angels. That from Reddit. College football today. A little fun with what's going on there. The 2 times Oklahoma and Auburn have played have both been in New Orleans at the Sugar Bowl. Auburn has yet to beat Oklahoma. They are 0-2 against Oklahoma. What's crazy is the first time Oklahoma and Auburn played in that Sugar Bowl game was after the 71 season in 1972 on January 1st. Alabama, it was Alabama and Auburn. Winner is SEC champion. Off to play Nebraska. Losers going to the Sugar Bowl. And it was in that year as well, it was Nebraska and Oklahoma. Winners going to the Orange Bowl to play for the national championship. Losers going to the Sugar Bowl. And it was almost a 4-team playoff back then. It was Auburn, Alabama, Oklahoma, Nebraska. And as we know, as it turns out, Oklahoma and Nebraska both handed it to Alabama and Auburn after the Iron Bowl game. So that was the first meeting ever between Oklahoma and Auburn.
I think the only thing we've established is Oklahoma's got a really good defense.
I think we know that.
Yeah, and I think the offenses on both sides look like garbage. I don't know about Auburn's defense. I think one of the reasons Oklahoma is a slight favorite on the road in this game is because it's like the perfect storm for the Sooners. They lead the nation in takeaways with 12, and Auburn leaves the nation in giveaways with 14.
I don't know. I mean, Auburn has a great agricultural program, so I'm assuming the field drains pretty well. It's going to be a lot of rain coming through that area. I don't know if it'll be a sloppy track. The rain should be going by the game. How alarmed are you by that number I just kind of stumbled across? Auburn is dead last in the country in turnover margin at 10. Oklahoma is second in the country in minus 10. Oklahoma is second in the country at plus 7.
That's what I was saying.
That's an alarming stat, isn't it?
I think that's one of those reasons that you've got a favorite here. And the fact that Auburn is 6-19. Their last 25 against Power 5 opponents. Amazing. They haven't beaten a Power 5 team with a winning record since Halloween weekend of 2021 in Ole Miss. But you look at Venables. Venables is 5-5 on the road.
Yeah,
he's Oklahoma's head coach.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's on the hot seat. He just got a contract extension. But for that fan base, he's going to have to start. This is the first year in the SEC. You don't come to the SEC if you're Oklahoma and you just start losing all these road games and losing to everybody. I mean, he needs to chalk up some wins too. This is not like he's coming into this game without any pressure on him. You know Hugh Freeze has it.
When Clay makes some statements on the air about helping Tennessee's NIL, I can never tell if he's playing up being, wealthy or not. I don't know. You know him better than I do if he ever makes big NIL donations to Tennessee. But Dave Portnoy yesterday on Barstool.
Well, he's pissing money away because I think he had Caitlin Clark and the Fever to win the WNBA championship for 6 figures.
He said yesterday on the show, a big Michigan guy, that he's willing to pay $1 million, $2 million, up to $3 million a year in NIL to get Michigan the right quarterback.
If this is somewhat right, if you can write this off somehow, then maybe this is worth it for guys that have that type of money.
Give me the Dylan Gabriel obviously was a hit. Cam Ward obviously was a hit, but we act like you can just go in the portal and not miss either. NC State missed.
Yeah, but if I'm going to pay you $2 million, I can get anybody to walk away.
Well, you can. Notre Dame, did they hit or miss? I mean, do you think Riley Leonard's been a hit?
They missed.
I mean, he's been okay, Lance. He's been okay.
They missed. They lost to NIU, LT. They missed.
I mean, Riley Leonard hasn't been amazing. Now, obviously, Miami hit with Cam Ward. Oregon hit with Dylan Gabriel.
I mean, Ohio State hit with Justin Fields.
Ohio State hit with Justin Fields. I was just going this year.
Will Howard right now is still.
Yeah, I mean, Will Howard's another guy. It's just everybody talks like it's just so easy to go to the portal and get a guy that's going to obviously make you better. Yeah. And there are times maybe it is, but it's not 100% either.
But if you had $3 million and you could steal somebody in the portal, back channel, get them to go, who would you have gotten to go to Michigan?
Well, it's easy to say Cam Ward now.
Well, everybody goes Cam Ward.
Everybody goes Cam Ward now. I don't know if they said that then.
They didn't know that then. You'd probably gone Quinn Ewers or Carson Beck.
Sluka, and I would have paid him.
And pocketed the other 2.9?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you would have done. All right, Rabbit Hole tomorrow, 12 to 3. The show will not be here 9 to 12. It'll be 12 to 3 tomorrow, but we'll have content throughout the day. Taylor Korn will be touring Fraternity Row and taking shots of the big sign and a lot more from Tuscaloosa. Be on with us at Next Round Live on all the platforms. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.